July 29, 2026, and this is our Franklin County Fiscal Court work session. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hope everybody's doing well tonight. I have a blessing on here from Mr. Chris Johnson. He's not by any chance here where I can't see him, is he? Nope. Alrighty, we're going to keep moving then if that's okay with everybody. Public comments. Is there anybody here with any public comments tonight? Alrighty, seeing none. First item is Mr. Mike Hines is with us with Winterwood Incorporated. It is the company that we selected through the RFP process. Come on up and for our affordable housing project. So Mike, welcome tonight, and I think most everybody here should know you, and maybe about a 10-minute presentation.
Sure. Is the microphone good? Am I good?
It's on.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and talk a little bit about our project on Holmes Street that we are working on. We, as Judge Mueller indicated, we responded to the RFP. We were pleased to be awarded the RFP. And so since that time, we've been working on some of the design aspects of the project, as well as preparing the project to go into the Kentucky Housing Corporation for resources. And that application will be due later this summer. So we've got most of that completed at this time. So we have a good sense of what we're going to be building, and that's what I'm here to show you. I have a colleague with me, Maggie Lancaster, if she can come up and help me a little bit.
Perfect.
We've got some boards. We can show the court what we're doing. And so just like right here is the site. You all are familiar with it. We haven't yet altered this, right? But this is the site as it is today. And this is kind of, just so everybody has a reference of where it is and what we're working on. And then there's a kind of a, not colored, but there's a rendering here as well. And this could be distributed if you'd like. We could do a PDF of this after the fact. But so that's kind of what we're working with, and that's kind of the site as it lays now. We're going to lay sideways here, and you'll see that on the next exhibit. So this is, again, just kind of showing the buildings, just kind of what they'll look like, what their front's going to look like, what you'll see when we're actually done with our work. And it shows how they're going to be laid out. Within this, and you'll see this on another exhibit, we are including some community space that we plan to make available to local charitable organizations so that services can be provided both to the residents of the property and also to the community at large. And that's part of our overall plan for the property. So, and then we'll hit the next one. And so you see those spaces. This is a typical floor plan. So this is second, third floor. This is first floor. And then these are those community spaces outlined here. So we'll be able to almost like build to suit or fit to suit. So if an entity needs more space, they can have two of those spaces. If it's a smaller entity, they can just have one. And so that gives some more options for those organizations that we will work with. And then we'll work with this organization, the Fiscal Court, to help identify the appropriate entities to work with when we get the housing built. People tend to get more excited about it when they can actually see something happening. So when we get the housing built, we'll start to reach out, ask agencies if they're interested, bring them in, let them look at the space, those types of things. So not sure if there's questions or anything, but one thing I usually get asked is how much is our investment going to be, because that's one of the things that I think is meaningful. And the other thing I usually get asked is, what are the rents going to be? So I'm prepared to talk with both those things, assuming that those would be questions. So we anticipate a construction cost of a little bit over $5.9 million. Total investment would be about $7.5 million. So that includes all of the third-party work, due diligence, all of the necessary studies that go with it, the applications, all of those types of things. So this will be a significant impact, at least from our organization standpoint, and we're looking forward to getting this started. On the rents, we're anticipating rents of about $930 for the one bedrooms, about $1,100 for the two bedrooms, and about $1,200 for the three bedrooms. That's approximate. We will have a good mix of all three bedroom types, so we'll be able to serve a broad, diverse matrix of residents at the property. A little bit about us, Winterwood. We have been in business since 1979. We're headquartered in Lexington, Kentucky. We employ about, in the state of Kentucky, we employ about just short of 500 people. Property management, development, real estate. This is our business. This is why we were formed. Hopefully it's obvious, but maybe not. I am not the founder, although I have the pleasure of serving as president at the current time. Our founder, unfortunately, is no longer with us, but the organization has survived his passing. So our current principal is Carol Worsham, and she spent 40 years in my role and then hired me so she could retire, spend some time with her grandchildren. So that's how I came to be here.
Good deal.
Is there any questions by the court?
Yeah, I'm going to ask Squire Dykes, because you've kind of been involved in this process. You want to say anything?
I think what I would like to do is, because Frankfurt hasn't had much of this kind of funding before, will you help the court and the public understand how rents are decided? Correct.
So our rents are sized for the resources that we're applying for to the Kentucky Housing Corporation, which is on Louisville Road here. We are applying for housing tax credits. And the housing tax credits, that resource comes in, and it's a development resource. It helps defray the cost of construction. So we'll use that resource to generate the private capital that I referenced in the investment number that I gave earlier. But in return for that, we are capped with our rents. And so our rents, while they can grow year over year, they cannot go above a certain threshold. So I did not go back and look at what the increases have been over the last few years in Franklin County specifically before this meeting, but it typically is not more than 2 or 3% of an increase. So the rents that I referenced, aside from indexing for inflation, which is what that essentially comes down to, will be the rents at the property forever, basically.
And I just wanted to kind of throw out there that this community room is something we talked a lot about really needing, because in Franklin County and everywhere right now, rents are ridiculous. I mean, single parents with kids can't afford to live anywhere right now. So I think these rents are more reasonable for people. And we don't expect people to live there forever. We expect that they will move in and move up, hopefully, you know, and so then somebody else can move in. And I think that's what we need. We have some places in the county where rents are completely based on income. Some folks don't work, you know, those kinds of things. Everybody here is going to have an income, right? So it's a hand up. It's not a handout. And this community room, for me, at least, is probably the most important thing we can do, because it will provide a space for, rather than like single moms and kids having to go out and do things, people can come to them and have a really great space to do that. One of the things that I think is really important and that I did for many years is teach financial literacy. And that's one of the things that I hope will happen in this community space, because a lot of us grow up and don't learn those skills. People don't have those skills. And once they do, they learn how to save money and they learn how to move up. And it's just good for the entire community. I guess the last thing I will say is that we have discussed veterans, which you all already have kind of at the top of your list, survivors of domestic violence and people in early recovery that are working and need some assistance in the beginning. We're going to have some set-asides for those populations, because we don't have that right now in Franklin County. They can't afford to move anywhere. When somebody comes out of sober living, there's nowhere for them to go. You know, they're feeling good, they're doing well, they're working, they're doing all the things, but they don't have anywhere to go. So I think this is super important, and I really appreciate the court's backing and you all doing this work for us.
Well, if I may, I'd like to applaud the court as well. It's a very proactive measure to recognize the need in your community and to actually take concrete action to do something to address it. I've worked in this industry for a long time. There's not a lot of jurisdictions that do that. So, you know, the court deserves some recognition for that. So.
You know, Mike, could you start passing those boards around? Maybe
Sure,
look
absolutely.
Squire Sebastian, you have your hand up. Thank you, Squire Dykes.
Thank you, Judge.
Yep.
Mr. Hines, Ms. Lancaster, thank you so much for being with this could we just take a step back? Could you talk about the number of units? We may be a bit more familiar with some of that through the process that you responded to in the RFP, but there are probably some folks out that may be watching this that don't understand how many units will be there, because we just talked about 1-bedroom apartments, 2-bedroom apartments, 3-bedroom apartments.
Of
That'd
course.
probably be very helpful.
course. Yeah, thank you.
Parking, some things like that.
Oh, yes.
Just to understand, yeah,
Of course,
please.
of course.
Security,
Yes.
all those things. So I'm just wanting you to take one step back.
Certainly. So we contemplate building 30 apartments. Of the 30 apartments, 9 will be 1-bedrooms, 12 will be 2-bedrooms, and 9 will be 3-bedrooms. The site does allow for us to have ample parking. I believe we meet the requirements without any waivers or variances that would need to be requested. So we will have ample parking. It is on one of those exhibits, which we'll circulate by PDF tomorrow, if that's okay, so that everybody has it. Or we'll make sure that gets in the right hands so everybody has it. So there will be ample parking. We are currently working to incorporate some common amenities into the space as well. So we do plan to incorporate a play area. Well, that's not reflected there yet. That will be reflected in the future. So we'll be including a play area for children as well. Our goal is to serve families and individuals. That's our ultimate
And
goal.
that play area comes from the additional space that we,
Yes, that was what the
So
court, the
just-
fiscal court purchased a piece of
sorry,
property.
I'm
Yeah, I
just
know.
pulling the horse
I
right
know you
there.
are, I know.
Doing
I was
everything
waiting
can.
for the right time. So
Yeah.
if the court remembers, about a month ago, we purchased a piece of property down off Home Street that is adjacent to this property. So that is gonna be, when Mr. Hines talks about the play area for the kids, that was the one thing they were missing and didn't have room for. So it was just kind of fate that we purchased that lot that will be going on this, with this site. Squire Blackburn.
Could you talk to us more about the timeline of fleshing this out?
Sure. So we will make our application to Kentucky Housing Corporation later this summer. I believe it's at the end of August. We'll find out whether we were successful in January. Then it's typically about a 6-month process to get from that announcement or award into really construction, what people would see as far as activity. Can sometimes be a little longer, but I don't anticipate that here because we're not working with really complicated financial structures here. So we should be able to move fairly quickly. So it's my hope that 1 year from now or less, people are seeing activity on the site.
Can I ask a quick question? And sorry.
Sorry.
Okay. So in regards to that, you said, I believe, this is your company's project for the year, this application. How do you feel about it? Like are you successful every time you turn one in? I know you don't have a black ball and I'm not trying to curse anything. I'm just asking.
Well, it's not our only project for the year. I do want to be clear about that.
Yeah, okay.
But it is a good project. Like, we feel good about it. I personally feel good about it. I don't bat 1,000, Judge. That's the honest truth.
Yeah.
But I will say, having done this for over 20 years, I bet about 500.
Okay.
Right? I mean, and sometimes it's demand, because this is a competitive process. We are competing against other projects, other jurisdictions that have needs, it's a statewide competition for a very limited pool of resources. Kentucky Housing Corporation will only grant resources for about 12 to 14 projects, maybe on a good year, 15. So there's not a lot that they grant every year. It's not as though this is an unlimited resource. So it is a scoring process, and it is driven by those needs of the community, the support of the community, which we can clearly show, and what we're proposing to do in the location that we're at. So I feel good about it, Judge.
Perfect. Thank you.
And Judge, I just want to add too, I'm sorry, that one of the things that we learned, when KHC did their, big, what am I trying to say?
Study?
Their study, yeah, thank you, I lost the word. We are in desperate need of housing in this county, and that is obvious. I mean, they pointed that out well. So I think that this is going to be a really strong application. I do.
Squire Sebastian, I don't think you were done, were you?
yeah, I was not. Thank you, Judge.
Yep.
So once the construction is underway,
What kind of is our timeline that we're looking at? I'm still in that,
Oh, yes,
trying to
ma'am.
get all the information out there.
Of course, I would expect our construction timeline to be 14 to 16 months.
Okay.
Barring any unforeseen conditions when we're working in the site. And that's one of the reasons we really want to start next summer, is because construction can really get bogged down when you start working in the wet season. It really can be very difficult. So we want to hit that cycle as best we can and avoid that. Good dry weather like we're about to have coming up, it's a perfect time to start a construction job. So.
And so, what is the thought process behind how people will apply? Just so they can start thinking about how, we see this wonderful development going up. We want to go ahead and try to get our names in there for this housing that's on a bus line, close to the city, all the reasons it was chosen for this type of development.
Well, we will post.
Still,
We will post signage on site, so certainly as people see it, they will have phone numbers. We do QR codes where the people can just
Yep.
scan it and go right into our information as a company. Of course, anybody who's looking for housing now, we have housing in Franklin County now. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us now.
Who would they reach out to? since you
Yeah.
said that?
Okay, so our corporate number,
Can you just send us that information when you send it?
yeah, I'll send you that
tomorrow, and then
information.
we can put
I don't want
that
to
out
give,
there?
I don't give my extension because
No.
that would be bad. But we'll send that information along. But we're also at www.winterwoodonline.com.
Okay.
And so all of our communities are available on our website. If somebody needs housing now, please reach out now.
Perfect.
We'll see if we can help them. We'll do our best.
Got a hand over here, Squire Wisman.
Wow. I want to take a step back because this is all theoretical and great, and hopefully we were able to get there, but it's all predicated on a very, very competitive process for a very limited number of funds, which has had its own bumps and hurdles of recently. I was involved in about the last 35 units that use LIHTC in this community, so I know the process fairly well. Can you talk to us about alternative plans if you all don't receive LIHTC credits from the Housing Corporation, and what your capital stack looks like? How much of a piece of a puzzle is that if we decide as a court you all don't get the money, we want this to proceed, we have some other options to look at, so we can be a little proactive instead of just waiting for 6 months for an answer that we may need to have a backup answer for.
Certainly. So today, we're contemplating that about $6 million will be generated from the syndication of the tax credits. That's the resource we're applying to Kentucky Housing Corporation for. And that about $1.8 million will be private debt that we will leverage in conjunction with that investment to go into the project. We don't give up on projects. So if we don't hit the ball the first time, we will go to bat again, assuming the court is okay with that, right? We don't walk away. We don't give up. So I know it's not always the answer everybody loves, but it's the truth. We sometimes have had to go 2 years in a row to get a project through, but we stay with it. This is not a one shot and we're done for us. So, you know, of course, that's both of us that have to agree to that, but
At the moment, we have multiple sort of entities lining up, hopeful for future allocations, so it's going to only get more competitive for our community to use those dollars. So ideally, it's been, I believe, 9 or 10 years since we got an allocation, so we're in a good sitting for it. But I want to have some plans at the ready in case we don't get those funds. There's some other funding, maybe we can go for a federal earmark or something else, if nothing else. So I want to be more proactive in making some options happen. Could you talk a little bit about, because we are sort of at a loss of this type of housing. Almost all of the projects in the community, save for 2, I believe, right now that come to mind, have went into private hands because they've expired past that period of retention for federal mandates and state mandates on capping rental amounts. Can you talk a little bit about the process for the community? We're sort of talking already about anyone that's interested in this. There's a qualification process based on your income, and can you speak a little bit about that in case anybody's saying, hey, I'd like to be considered for this in the future, how you go about that process?
So certainly, so we do for all of our residents, we do run background checks and credit checks. We want to make sure that everybody who lives there is a good fit for their neighbors, and so that's really important to us, and that is a part of our process. But other than that, and there are certain things with particularly with credit that we don't consider. I know some people have challenges due to certain factors in their credit. We don't consider those things. So an example might be medical debt, right? We don't consider that. That's not valid for us. That doesn't impact someone's ability to live in our housing. What we're really looking for is good housing credit, and that's what we're checking for. We just want to make sure that, you know, they're going to be a good resident for us long-term, or, you know, on their way up the ladder, as Kelly referenced. So that's part of that process. And then the criminal background check is important, I think, for obvious reasons. But other than that, once people apply or begin to apply or express interest in this property, if it's not ready yet, they'll go on a wait list. And we'll start to accumulate names, numbers, emails, contact information. When we feel that we're about 90 days out from being ready, then we'll start at the top of that wait list and work down. And we will start to validate everybody who's expressed interest, so that hopefully the day we open our doors, there are 30 new families ready to move in. That's our goal. You know, we clear the contractors out and move the residents in. I mean, sometimes it happens on the same day. So that's our goal.
And as far as income for potential residents, you're using 80%. I believe the 80% was like $62,000 last I looked, like 2 weeks ago on the HUD's website for our area. So it's just for people to know that these type of units can be a pretty serious amount of income that you can still qualify for something like this. So
absolutely. Even at the 60% of median income threshold, I think those incomes are still right at 50,000, roughly. So this is definitely intended as workforce housing. That is the nature of the program. That's when it was built in 1986. That's when tax reform happened and this program was created. It was intended for working families, working individuals. That was the intent, and that's what it still does to this day. It still operates that way. To your sorry.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say the restriction that we will sign with the state if we do receive our funding is a 30-year restriction. And in addition to that, there's a 3-year rent control period after that 30 years expires. So it's really a 33-year restriction. So that restriction does stand in place for a long time. That's not always been the case. So there are older properties that were done earlier that only had a 15-year restriction. Well, we don't operate under those rules. We operate under different rules. So
That's a good point. We had one of those communities that just expired about 3 years ago that was only a 15-year, and those residents are seeing rents almost doubled since that 3-year period expired, because they're going up exponentially every year, and a lot of those folks I've been in communication with about, we don't know where else. There's nowhere else for us to go right now. There's nowhere else for those to go. The only last question I guess I have is given this area, I've been hesitant about some development this large in this area because it's prone to other problems. Let's just say that way. I've had questions about security and how you're going to address that in your plans for this development. Do you have any plans? Can you speak to that at all?
Well, so as a company as a whole, we work with a third-party security firm and we deploy them as we need to. So it becomes an as-needed process. Certainly any reported incident of concern from our residents about uninvited, at that point they'd be trespassers, we respond to as a management company, as an owner-operator. But if it's something that is beyond our ability to handle, and we feel like we need to bring in private security, we will, and we have an existing relationship where we do so. We also do camera our locations, and we try to light them really well. So goal is that there aren't places where things can happen that would be undesirable that are out of sight, because that's where you tend to get that the most. And so, you know, we are accustomed to dealing with that. We manage hundreds of communities across the state. They all have their own challenges, and so we're accustomed to that. And that security relationship that we have is global. It's not property specific. It's two companies that have a relationship with each other. So,
Okay. Thank you.
yes, sir.
Mike, thank you.
right.
Appreciate you all coming in tonight, and if you don't mind, send those PDFs and maybe a phone number for anybody looking for housing currently.
Yes, sir. Is it okay if I send that to you?
That
or-
was Jenny. Be
Jenny.
fine. Yeah, either one's fine.
Okay, great.
Yeah. we'll
Thank you
distribute
all.
it. Thank you very
I
much.
Are these for us to keep?
Certainly, or we're going to send PDFs out after the
way.
meeting, so it's up to you. If you'd like to have them, you're welcome to.
Kelly will want them. We'll keep them here.
You want to go?
We'll keep them here then.
All right. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Why don't we leave them here?
Yeah, we'll leave
in
it
the
here.
conference
Yeah, we'll
room?
have it here so we can look at it. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna switch some things around because there's a ton of people out there. Chief, can you go ahead and come forward real quick? So we have some retirement tonight, right? Retirements.
Dun, dun.
Retirements.
Some retirements from the fire department. I just want to take a minute to recognize some of these guys for their service. So however you want to do it, if we want to start.
You know the three that we're gonna call up here, so whoever you wanna grab first and their families, we'd love to see them and,
Chief Perch, go ahead and let them come in.
yep. Sorry, Andrew, I'm moving things around. I just looked out that door and saw all those people and I was like, oh my Lord, there are a bunch
I
of
thought
people.
they were getting a little loud.
I just saw them getting antsy, so I said, hold on, we gotta move these around real quick. I would've.
You should have waited till last for this. Especially for this one.
You want to do first? So the first one we'll call up is Captain Eric Simpson. Captain Simpson started in 2005, so he has 21 years of service. He's here tonight with his family, and we'll let them all come forward. Want to present him with just a small token to recognize his service.
Eric, first, you need to tell us who's with you tonight. How's that?
I can. This is my wife Amy and my daughter Chloe.
Very nice to meet you all. You should be proud of everything he's done.
We come to the middle, Eric. Andrew wants your photographs.
Go ahead, Chief. Say a little bit more about him. I think cut you off.
Which way?
Oh, no, Eric has been a leader within the department. He's always been, throughout the years, he's always been excellent on handling the fire scenes.
You talking about this guy?
This guy. He got better after you left.
Hey, Andrew, you may want to get them with the flags behind them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm out of the way.
All right.
Chloe likes pictures.
You want to get in here, Mark?
No, I'm good.
You don't want to mess a picture up, Eric.
You didn't bring my little boy with you, huh? You get
No.
there.
You would not do well.
Eric, you want to say anything on your way out?
I mean,
He's not a big talker.
no, it was a great 23 years. Really enjoyed it. Met a lot of great people. It was just, I was happy to do it. Glad to serve the community.
Well, we appreciate your service.
Yes, sir.
Very much so. Enjoy retirement.
I will do it. Absolutely.
Take care. Yeah. Go ahead.
So next up, we'll call Battalion Chief Forrest Palmer. Battalion Chief Forrest Palmer also started in 2005. He has been with the department 21 years. Been a great asset to the department. He's also worked with the Fire Commission, which, if you're in the fire world, has been a huge asset to the fire department as far as getting guys into training classes, being able to train specialized classes within our department. So he's been a huge resource for us. His command presence on scene is great. Always been great operationally and handling with the guys. Very well respected. All three of these guys are very well respected, so we want to recognize him as well.
Who's with you tonight before you get going?
My mom, my aunt, my wife.
All right, they're gonna come up with you.
Take a picture.
Smile big for
Sheriff won't take it.
You laid all the money down out there.
Thank you.
Speech.
Speech. It's been a great 21 and a half years, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you all.
And last but certainly not least, Captain Zach McDonald. Zach's
So it's my understanding that this gentleman here has a speech for us.
He has.
He has?
I'd like to take 3 minutes of your
Now,
time.
we need to limit it to 3 to 5 minutes. Is that okay?
No speeches for me.
Who's with you tonight?
My wife Aubrey, my son Bo, Luke, and Cash. I think my mom, Forrest, and then my son's girlfriend Emma.
Welcome, everyone. Well, come up and get a picture.
Who's buying dinner?
Y'all are feeding us dinner?
Hey, listen, if you want to make it into this meeting, I'll buy you dinner.
Guys, just give me a second, I'm gonna check my focus. All right, very nice. There we go.
Why isn't Forrest in there? They told him not to get in the picture.
All right, thank you, guys.
Force waving at everybody.
I know.
Yeah,
Politician there.
He knows everybody.
I do want to thank
Go ahead, please.
support for hiring me when I was a kid. Hired on when I was 18, and I feel like it, you know, the department raised me. So
He was so advanced, he's hired on at 12.
Hey, we appreciate your service and thank your family for letting you do what you did. Thank you very much. Well, Chief, where are you going? I think we want to talk about you for a minute.
Well, this is more about them.
Yeah.
I'm leaving as well, so.
I know. So, Mertz, why don't you come up here for a minute and say some things? So, Chief, how many years have you served at Franklin County Fire Department?
I've been on 21 as well. All of us retiring started well, they all started in February and I started in July of 05.
All right, so do you have anybody with you tonight?
I do. I have my wife, Autumn, my 2 daughters, Abby and Sadie, and my mom and my dad, Jamie and Carol.
Well, y'all should be very proud of him. Why don't you say a few words up there, Mr.
I'd be
Mertz?
proud to.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
I've known him. Let's see, he got on 6 months, 7 months after I did. And when I got captain, he became my engineer. Now, I stuck there for 17 years and he kept going.
This is going to be more of a roast.
But he's the only person that I can, going back and looking, that's gone through every position in the fire department. Every position, because the assistant chief position wasn't established 2015. So he's went through every position. So he's got an asterisk beside his name for that one. And then when it comes to like institutionally, within the department, within county government, you ain't gonna get a better person that knows the ins and outs of everything. You can ask Amy, I know she's not worried. Amy, Kim, any of them, that he knows more about their job, not than they do, but than maybe anybody else does, as far as the fire department. But huge loss for the department, but still a great game for the community, because he ain't going nowhere. I think we can do 3 miles in your life. Yeah. So I'm gonna miss him, of course, but I know we're gonna make a big decision. But ain't nobody gonna be able to fill his shoes.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you very much. So, Chief, I'm going to let the court say some words because I know everybody wants to, but I just want to thank you. You know, I've known you, I guess, 8 years now, really. Met you when I came in the first court, and I saw the way you worked under, you know, Chief Hutcherson and kind of went to school and worked your way up, and it's the example of, you know, how to work your way up through a program. So I just want to say thank you for your commitment. I want to thank your family for all these years, and I'm going to let the court say any words they would like to say. Microphone, please. Microphone, please. Mike.
I've known this man since he was doing jumping jacks in the bay at Station 8.
I figured that was
Tell
gonna
that
come up.
story.
Yep.
But for someone to come up through the ranks like he did and to be respected all these years like he has, great asset to the department, but a great loss also. We're gonna miss you, man.
Thank you. Appreciate
We're
it.
gonna miss you.
Yep. Anybody else? Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. I hate to see you all go. I know you're going for the right reason.
Thank you.
My heart is in that.
Squire Dykes.
I just want to say that this is possibly the kindest person I've ever met in my life, and that's no joke. He really is, and he really, really cares about this community. We have had the best conversations about needs in this community. I don't know that I've ever met someone in your position that truly cares about your fellow citizen like you do, and so I appreciate you very much, and you will be missed.
Squire Whisper.
Just want to thank all of you all. It makes me feel a little old. I went to high school with two of those guys out there, and they're retiring before I get to. But particularly thank your families, right? You all work this non-traditional schedule and this hectic life that takes you away from your children while you're growing up, and you don't get to spend the holidays and the birthdays and the weekends with them like you should be able to. So that commitment is huge to our community, and just thank all of you for your time. And hopefully that doesn't mean the end, that there may be some opportunities in the future for everyone to get involved in other ways. So thank you all.
Squire Blackburn.
I just want to say, Chief, you know, I met you 8 years ago, and when you stepped up when Hutcherson retired, it's a testament. You know, Eric said it, and the judge said it. You stepped up in every single place and maintained the respect of everybody at the department. And I think that speaks a lot to your character. And you set a really high bar, and I'm glad, and I thank you for it. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Well, I just want to say that, you know, the time I've had within the department, you know, as Zach said, you know, Zach and Eric and Patsy Palmer, you know, we all grew up through this department. We come in as kids, and as Mike can probably attest to through the years, you know, we've learned a lot. We've had great leaders through the department, so that's been a huge asset to us. And the support of the fiscal court has meant a whole lot, especially the last several years. It's got us where we need to be moving forward as a department. I think the department's in a great place. It's got great people in the right positions right now, so I think the future is bright, and I think it's just going to get better with the support of the fiscal court and the way everything, the relationships with the other departments. The road department's great. All those guys, you know, we all jump in and work together. Sheriff's office is great. So I just want to thank everybody that, you know, has been a part of my career and all the support that we've had. So it's really appreciated.
So now your daughters want to say anything? Just tell them. Why don't you come get a picture so we can make sure everybody knows all the good work you've done over the years.
Let the wife say something. She's always got to.
I think she said she wants to smash the radio.
I hear you.
Maybe a sledgehammer.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Just a couple guys hanging in. Perfect. Thank you.
Chief, thank you very much. Alrighty, so I appreciate the court letting us do that, because I didn't want all those people to wait. Next, I'm going to call Mr. Mike Giza from the road department. We're going to get our update from him. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good, though. It's a tough act to follow.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing?
Doing great. Good, good.
It's been a pretty busy, I guess, 3 weeks since the last 4 we've had. We've had some good weather, been able to do some bigger projects. The one you're looking at here is
Taylor Branch.
one Eric brung us on Taylor Branch. The water jumped over the road several times apparently, and it had washed everything out. So we went through there and set a bunch of blocks and formed everything back up. And this one you're looking at is a job that come to us when I first started. I think it's Tiber.
Yeah.
And we put a new drop box in and try to help get rid of some of the water for them. And that's back to Eric's job. That was about a week-long job. And we also, correct me, Sherry, the Hampstead, where we replaced the Hampstead, we had some failing drainage pipes. We had to get up some yards and replace a bunch of it, but we got it all took care of.
Those have been a long time in the making. So
Yep.
thank you. Thank you for getting to them. True.
Yeah, they've been working on that list really well the last couple weeks.
Thank you.
What picture there we looking at? Just more of that same project?
Same of
Okay.
Taylor Branch project.
Yeah. Okay,
That right there is Tyler.
okay.
That's what it looked like before we started. It'd jump the road and just eat all that out, and it was
Oh, wow.
horrible. And that's another one that was on Taylor Branch. But when we get these rains that, 3 inches in an hour,
Yeah.
nothing's set up to handle it, so it has to go across the road. We're just trying to fix it when it goes across, it don't eat them out as bad.
Yeah, yeah. Mike, I want to thank you and your staff for helping the state too. That's been a big thing lately, and I want people to realize that, state has, we have over 200, I think 20 road miles, they have over 300, and I believe they're down to about 5 people in their department. So, and we get a lot of these calls about problems with the roads and shoulders and culverts. A lot of times it's state property, and I'm not saying anything bad. They're doing the best they can. I thank Mike Mitchell and his team. And it's my understanding, I think you said last time, they just cut them $2.2 million
Yeah.
from just our community. So I want people to realize that we're all trying to work together, and nobody cares when they're driving on the road if they're in the city, the county, or a state road. They just want to be safe. So I think that's in front of all of us. Squire Blackman.
I just want to share with the court. I shared it with Mike earlier today. I got a call this morning, and I'll kind of paraphrase it. It was a resident from Governor's Place, and they made sure, they said, you don't have to call me back. Please don't call me back. But I want you to know that I called the road department this morning, and the person that answered the phone was fantastic. They took my request, said they would speak to the superintendent, and was very kind and so nice. And it was a wonderful day to start my morning. And she just reiterated, don't call me back. I know you're busy. But I just want to make sure to let them know how good of a job they're doing and how they treated me. And that means a lot. It shows a lot to your all's character and your commitment to serve the community, not just do a job. So thank you, Mike.
Yep, appreciate it.
Squire Westman.
Judge, I'm just going to make it a point every time that we meet, just because as elected officials, when we talk about things enough, then it becomes part of the community's conversation eventually. And you just mentioned it. To the state has 5 employees maintaining hundreds of miles of roads in this county. I've asked for things, and I've got some constituents on my back right now that I just can't promise that things are going to get done. They're funded. It's just a matter of time. That department used to have almost 30 employees. We were talking just last meeting, and I think it's incumbent upon us as a court and the entire community. We're the capital city. We have conversations with everybody that makes decisions up there, that we really need to start pushing that the roadways, the road departments, the maintenance departments, the road funding, everything needs to be funded at a better level. And right now it's being diminished so that those funds can be put into a rainy day fund, so that we can get rid of state income taxes. I mean, let's be honest about it, rather than maintaining our roadways to the levels that we need and to the safety standards we need. So, I have a bridge with a hole the size of a basketball in it that goes all the way through it right now that is not going to be taken care of for likely of several years, even though it's dangerous because there's not funding to take care of that right now. So we've got to, as a community, we need to put it on our lobbying list this year, but I think we need to take a lead, maybe statewide, in pushing that initiative. So just have to say it, start talking about it.
It was my
every time.
understanding that we just weren't the only ones that got cut. Road departments across the
Everywhere.
state got cut.
Everybody.
Yeah. Which doesn't make sense, to your point, when we have a huge, biggest rainy day fund the state's ever had.
Well, let's, part of this, Judge, maybe the community can understand a little bit. Federal gas prices actions took gas prices way up. Our governor decided to cut prices, and that took $30 million a month for the last 3 months out of the road maintenance budget. So that comes directly to our communities. All of that funding gets cut in maintenance in our communities. It's either you pay it at the pump now or we pay for it in road maintenance later. And it's going to mean that projects are delayed and that prices go up for maintaining our roadways to the safety levels we need. And we know state roads are already beyond what they should be. So just really wanting the community to understand and help us push when they're at the Capitol and they're talking to the legislators that we need money. There is money. There's money put away in a rainy day fund for other purposes that should be going into the road fund.
Squire Sebastian.
Thanks.
Thank you, Judge. Just want to share thank you with you and your team. After that big storm the other night, there were, and it was late in the evening, people came out and they took care of the roads in really dark places. At least I know on the west end of the community, power is out for a considerable amount of time. So being out there in the middle of that storm when everything was going crazy and wild, and taking care of that for safety for people who were traveling. Can't thank you enough, can't thank the state crew enough, because they did a fantastic job. You all did in responding immediately, so thank you.
Thank you, Squire. All right, Mike, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And now I just realized what the jailer was saying. I don't know how I mixed those up, but I'm looking right at him. I just wanted you to hear his presentation.
And I needed to.
Is that right? Okay. Are you ready now?
Yes.
Jailer, would you like to come forward and present? Welcome.
Good evening, you guys.
Good evening.
It's Andrew. I didn't bring any notes with me, but I brought a thumb drive. We're here today for our fourth quarter report. Our population is 321, and we do a little breakdown of Franklin County inmates, Anderson, state, federal, SAP, and SOAR. I'm very pleased about our numbers in our SAP and SOAR program.
Jailer, can I ask you, is that cumulative, like for the whole 30 or the 90-day period that you come up with those numbers, or is that a snapshot at a certain date?
That's a snapshot of
Okay.
last week.
Okay, thanks.
Because we picked up 3 in Kenton County today for our SAP program.
Can I just say thank you for taking care of the federal inmates, which we've seen it go from 0 for like 6 years to.
Yeah. So we can never have him.
That's correct.
You'll never see him.
Yes,
Sorry.
I remember hearing every bit of that. So I'm just trying to make a point. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Our
Thank you very
contract
much.
is for 25, 20 being males, 5 being females, and we're at 22.
Love seeing that we're out there helping and making a difference.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fourth quarter, our revenues, per the treasurer's report, 892,000, an actual bill but not received at that time, was over $1 million in revenues for the fourth quarter. Community service, our inmates have provided over 19,000 hours in the community. I don't know if you guys have been out to the park lately and seen the fence. We went out today and did a visit with the crew, and I think they're getting ready to start at Franklin County High School. And I asked Christy, I said, maybe check in and see if we can start on that side and finish that before school starts back up. At $15 per hour for those hours, this is a savings of $297,000 to the county for work that the inmates are doing around the county. The physical condition of the facility. We're continuing to do our our weekly maintenance, painting and cleaning. I'm calling it the beautification project because we're getting rid of a lot of weeds and stuff. I have these extra SOAR ladies that are working that we call our hill crew, and they're doing a lot of improvements out there. Our maintenance have repaired some of the walls of the jail on the outside that have deteriorated from roof leaking. Next, staffing, 49 employees. We conduct interviews regularly. Officers, our leadership training is going really well. Morale is great right now at the jail. And the biggest thing, I think, is the new leadership training that we're doing out there. We're supporting, we're making sure that our upper staff is supporting, and a lot of that is in training of the new staff, because unless they're trained, you won't retain them. If they don't feel supported, if they don't feel like they're getting all the information that they need to work at a jail, then they won't stay. Next, programs. Year number 2, highest rate of GEDs in the state of Kentucky, earned at the Franklin County Jail. Thornhill, they come out and knock it out of the park all the time. SAP and SOAR graduations are up. And thank you guys for attending these graduations. This means the world to them to see you guys come out and support them in what they have accomplished in the 6 months, moving on into their next 3 months with SOAR if they choose to stay there at the Franklin County Jail. Next, we had our monthly reentry meeting. We usually have anywhere from 30 to 50 people come in from the state of Kentucky. And they're letting these people know that are 30, 60, 90 days from being released, even if they're not staying in Franklin County, where they can go for resources. We put together a folder so that when they're being released, that they get this information. We added someone new today that deals specifically with children. And they were really impressed with what we do out there and look forward to partnering with us to make sure that they get the information that they need to help families get back together. And
That came fast.
that was, I had pictures today, and for some reason I couldn't get them loaded. I probably have the oldest computer at the jail. I think everybody's used my computer. I think I'm still like on Windows 7 or something.
Court, what questions do we have for the jailer or her team tonight? Court,
I just thank you for everything you guys are doing, and the SAP and SOAR folks are part of the reason that when we were talking about housing, I'm like, where are people going to go when they get out? But I think the most important thing is that, you know, I've had people say to me, you all just like save all this money, having these people go do all this work, and you know, and I'm like, no, let me explain to you what actually happens. They learn skills, and they're not sitting in a cell all day long, and they are thrilled with painting. They're thrilled with what they're doing. Like, they're so happy. And so, and we need those skills. We need, those skills have to be taught. They've got to have, you know, a zest for something when they leave that, or they turn around and go back. Yeah. And so I just appreciate that they're learning the skills that they need to be learning, and that they're breathing some fresh air.
When they go to the senior citizen, they get their food handling license. That's something they take with them. When our fiscal court crew, and that's just that's our fiscal court crew that works out with Christy and Greg, they're always talking about, they had something wrong with the tire, and they took them down to the road department, and they said, okay, we're going to taught them how to do it. You know, these are skills, pressure washers, spray painting. You know, they rebuilt the skate park, painted that. You know, they are, and I say, if you don't learn a skill, you're going to at least get work ethic out of this. Because some of these women say, you know, I've never had a job in my life. A lot of my time has been spent in jail. Some of my other time was very traumatic in their life. Right. And they didn't have opportunities to get a job because...
Or they weren't allowed.
They weren't allowed because...
They weren't allowed.
Some pretty horrible things were happening in their life.
Absolutely. I will say that I get to, you know, I drive by Lakeview several times a day. And so I've watched them paint, and they're smiling, and they look happy, and it just, it makes me feel so good. So I appreciate that very much.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, we buy them ice cream.
Yes.
Squire Wisman.
Judge, since Squire Dyke brought that up, maybe that's a good opportunity to explain a little bit. When we created SAP and SOAR 3 years ago, part of it is mandated, because I've heard the comments too, why are we suddenly seeing inmates? Who's watching those inmates? You know, they could just run off the work site and that kind of thing. That this SAP and SOAR program is intentionally created to be a reentry program to allow them to live in a flex space that is not a jail cell, technically, and to be able to slowly reintegrate to the community, right? So,
absolutely.
Judge, or Joe, could you add anything to that so the community understands better, sort of, because we've got almost 75 people in that in those two programs right now, right? That are it's supposed to be a way to ease them back into society and make connections where they can have jobs and resources as soon as they walk out, right? So.
And SAP stands for Substance Abuse Program. That's their first 6 months there at the jail, and they have to successfully complete that before they can apply to SOAR.
And they get to opt into all of this on their own volition, right?
Yep.
So.
Yes, sir, they do. And, you know, and we've had ladies that say, I want to drop out. And Shepherd's House is fantastic. We could not have partnered with someone better than Shepherd's House. And I say that to Amy every day. These ladies are really working through their trauma while they're there. That's the biggest part of that first 6 months being there, is working through their trauma and working through recovery. These ladies will tell us, unfortunately, I've been incarcerated in, more than 5, 6, half a dozen jails, and this is the first time I've ever felt like I've been in recovery. And that is the relationship that we have with Shepherd's House that allows this. I can't speak highly enough. And then when they move into the SOAR part of this, supporting others in active recovery, these ladies are mentors for one another. They encourage each other. They work in our commissary. We have a Hill crew. We have the Fiscal Court crew. We have the Senior Citizens crew. And then Fiscal Court, who did I miss? That's it. And, these ladies are learning something different all the time. We're doing higher education programs with them for those that are interested and qualify. And that's something that, a lot of these tools right now are purchased by the commissary, which is this account belongs to the inmates. So this is at no cost. This is at, I'll say that again, no cost to the county taxpayers. What we are doing out there to pay for these women to get what they need. The equipment that they have for painting the fences, pressure washing the fences. The Franklin County Commissary account bought that, so these women can put that on their job resume, that they know how to use a spray paint, they know how to use a pressure washer. These are things that we buy for the inmates to ensure that they're getting a job skill before they leave out of there. And there is in Harrodsburg, I think, where one of the ladies told me that she's going to apply. It's a all women's ran construction company. And she said, the director of maintenance, she said, he has taught us so much. They worked on the pro shop and
Electrical, they did electrical work.
They did
I saw 'em
electrical work,
working on that.
and they said, we have learned so much. And I always say, when you get back, write it down. It's got to be a part of your resume, in order for you to be gainfully employed when you leave. You got to get this resume written, so even if it's just a pressure washer or a paint sprayer, these ladies work hard, and they appreciate the sheriff coming out. That means a lot when you guys come out and speak and tell them how much you appreciate them.
Squire Blackburn.
I just wanted to add on a few things some others talked about. I spent about half the day at the park yesterday, and a whole busload of kids came in and unloaded there at the skate park. And, my wife did a little bit of first aid on one of them, but it looked fantastic. And I also want to say, there's a lot of folks in the community. I hear it in the community and I see it on social media. Well, this is a problem. This is a problem. Why don't we get the inmates down there? Why don't we do this? Why don't we get those folks? They have no idea what's already happening, and it's disheartening. But at the same time, you keep pushing, and everybody's going to know. And I think opportunities like this to speak and to show it, and to let people in the community know what's happening and what's being done, the money being saved, and our tax money being spent wisely,
Yes.
and looking after programs that help make that all possible.
Yep.
And I appreciate it. Thank you.
We had someone from the Department of Corrections when we had our big graduation, and she told the judge and the sheriff, she said, I would never say that the jailer is wrong, but I'm going to go ahead and have to say they're not leading to being the best jail in the state of Kentucky. They are. And she said, I work for the Department of Corrections and I know this. And she said, outside of the state of Kentucky, people are coming in and they're looking at the program that's going on out there. So we are doing great things out there at the jail. Our biggest goal is always recidivism. We don't want them to come back. We don't want them to come back.
I just wanted to commend you and your staff and Thornhill for the continuing education and, give them a chance. When they come out, they can, they have something they can take with them that no one can take back. And
Yeah.
I think that's a great thing.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that, 41 graduates, that's awesome.
Yep. We have 4 tests scheduled for this weekend. So we're not letting up on the gas.
Nice.
Jailer, thank you, and thank you to your team that's sitting over there.
Chief
And again,
Major.
I also want to thank the Fiscal Court for supporting this program. You know, it was a big move. You know, 3 years ago, the jailer came to us, and it kind of started just right during all that, and it was a big leap of faith for us, so, and it's working out, so thank you.
Yep. All right. And in October, we'll have our second year celebration out there.
Sounds good, thank you.
Thanks, you
All right,
guys.
thank you.
all.
All righty, next is the judge's report. First, I'm going to have Charlie Lewis come up. My first thing has to do with the park, so I thought Charlie would be the perfect person to share a couple things. We have about 8 slides up there of different shots.
Yeah, we just wanted to, we had Codell come out with their drone earlier this week and take some updated pictures of the progress of the project. So what you're seeing now, that's a concession stand building. That is the West Concession Building down at the threeplex. You can see a lot of posts up. Those hold netting for safety netting, and you can see the layout of the gravel is where the artificial turf will be. Okay.
Field looked a little rough.
Yeah, the outfields, it's all rough right now. They haven't put the topsoil down. That's the east concession stand. They've got the beams up, and they've started laying down the underlayment for the roofing. The big piles of green areas.
Hard to play around that one.
That's right.
That is actual topsoil that they'll spread out on the under the
Outfield.
the outfield area there. But I mean, it's coming along. We've had obviously a few rain days here and there, and as you can tell by the green grass,
About 4 inches a week.
as we keep mowing and mowing and mowing. But I wish it would dry up a little bit. But hey, it is what it is. Let's see, a few other things. The artificial turf guys should come in mid to late August, is what I've been told. So we're getting close to that. So a couple 3 weeks, they'll be out there putting the finishing touches on that gravel area, that layout there. And then of course, all those posts going down the side, that's all fencing. They just haven't put that up yet because they're in and out of there with equipment so much. That's kind of one of the last steps. They're pouring sidewalks right now to connect all the fields and both the two complexes. There's been some developments with the underground sewer. They've got 2 big new manholes that they put in to tie in. So that's they're in the process of doing that and get those items passed. And pulling wire for the light poles. They're still tying those in. But they do a good job. Even when we've got some inclement weather, there's guys out there. It seems like they're moving around getting some things done, even though we may run into some rain days. But we're still hopeful for sometime around, give or take, November 1st for completion. If the way, it's all weather related, as you well know.
Charlie, thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate that.
You got it.
All righty, next on the 9th was the 66th Annual Farm City Field Day at Edward Kelsey's farm out at Peaks Mill. A couple pictures here. I know a couple of us were out there, and it was a little warm that night, but it seemed like there's a good crowd. Yeah, a lot warm. Seemed like it was a nice crowd. So beautiful farm out there in Peaks Mill. Next was Franklin County Fair and Horse Show. That was from the 14th to the 18th. So big turnout. I heard things went well. And Squire Sebastian, you want to say anything about that? Because I know you were out there quite a bit.
No. Weather cooperated. They
Yeah.
were so happy.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
big turnout. I think their numbers are bearing out. That
That's
it
a great
was-
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard the final results, but I assumed it was
It was
good.
one of their biggest ones.
Was it?
Was.
Okay, thank you,
Absolutely
Charlie.
was.
Yeah, good. Alrighty, next was the, that's funny. On the 14th was Doc Crow's Ribbon. I think a lot of y'all know that right up the street. It was bought out and it's under a new name, new management, new ownership. And I've heard good things about that company. So hopefully we can all support them. On the 16th was the Leadership Frankfurt graduation luncheon at the Monte Carlo. That's kind of on the east side of town. I know there's a banquet hall over there in the shopping center, and they're trying to get some more things going there. But it's a beautiful event space, and I know a lot of people were there, and can't thank the leadership organization enough through the Chamber of Commerce. We had a new car wash open on the east side, Shine on Your Time Car Wash. I'm sorry, this is on East Main. Shine on Your Time Car Wash right there. So we appreciate them. 21st was a big day, big day. First thing was the Aquatic and Wellness Center community kickoff at the Paul Sawyer Library. So I think right there what you have, Jenny emailed this to you all this afternoon, was the slideshow. So basically what they did that night was the community came out, they inputted on what their vision is for the facility. Because to this point, we've just kind of gone by what we've heard and what the committee has kind of put together. But it was a great night. Between online surveys and in person, they're right around 500. So the survey is still open. I think the last slide up here will be the QR code. Some of the dots on there, they went through and people were able to say what they liked about certain aspects of the project and what they didn't. Some people liked glass, some people didn't, some people liked wood, some people liked metal. So really it was just an opportunity for the community to come out and give their input. In addition to this, the only drawback that I've heard was there wasn't many kids there. So our intention is once the schools go back, we're going to try to do something with the school system in the schools to get the kids' input, because they're a lot of big part of that. We'll probably do the same thing with the senior center, and but I think everything's on track. We're moving ahead. I was talking to Deputy Kennedy earlier. We're probably going to go ahead and pull a separate meeting for all of us to sit down with consultants, kind of go over everything and see where we are and see what the next step is, so you all can ask questions and kind of get up to speed on where we are and where we need to go next. But I want to commend the school system, the city. We're all working well together. It's a 9-person committee, and you all have been on plenty of committees that don't work well together. This one does. Everyone has the interest of the community first and foremost. There hasn't been any bickering, there hasn't been any arguing. We all have been agreeing. It's going very well, so hopefully that will continue. So, alrighty, and then the next was the Target. If nobody hasn't realized, Frankfurt got a Target. So it is, I think, the biggest in the Southeast, full grocery store and all kinds of things. And Governor was there as, I guess, one of the employees. Pretty funny. But there's a ton of people there. I was away with my family on vacation. I hated to miss it. But it was a great event from what I've heard. I've heard nothing but good things about it. Squire Davis?
I missed it too, which broke my heart, but I was out of town with my family. So I have 3 little girls this week. For a week, and they begged me to take them to Target, and so that's what we did, and it was a blast. We had a great time. It is really fantastic inside. It's just exactly what I think we needed. Yeah. But the toy aisles, specifically that and junk food, but it was really, really nice. I loved it.
And I know next door to that is the BJ's Wholesale. That will be ribbon cutting this fall. And then I talked to Jason Taylor, one of the developers, before the meeting. And phase 2 is moving along, so we should have some news, next couple of months. But can't thank everybody working together. I know the Fiscal Court worked with the city well on that project too to get some things accomplished. So welcome, Target. Next, there was a ribbon cutting. Bennett Law Group was yesterday. It's right in the McClure building, next door almost. And so Kate has brought some people with her, and they are opening a law firm, and they're on the 5th floor, I believe. And it's 3 or 4 attorneys up there to kind of just help anybody that needs help. Next is Miss Tina Peck. So she is the Deputy Floodplain Administrator. She's been asked to sit on the planning committee for the Association of State Floodplain Managers. So we can't say enough good things about Tina. Tina, why don't you come up for a minute? So she'll be collaborating with professionals from across the country to help plan and support initiatives in advanced floodplain management, resilience, and professional development. Congratulations, Tina. You should be proud.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to serve on the national committee and bring back what I learned to the county and help shape the national policy. So very exciting things are happening. So
I want to say congratulations.
thank you so much.
Judge, what's Tina, could you say what the certification is that you got just recently, right, that you
certified-
completed? I don't know that we ever acknowledged it while we were in court, did we? I know we have in committee, but.
I'm a certified floodplain manager now, and that's through the ASFPM, which is the planning committee that I'll be serving with.
I think that's the first time we've had someone at the county level with that certification, right?
I believe so, yes. Squire Blackburn.
I just want to say, in being in some committees with Tina, the professionalism you've shown, the level of the quality of work that you've been doing, it's been phenomenal. And I know Eric can probably echo those same statements. Your desire to really go at it and to dissect it down. I know we have some compliance things we have to get in line, but you're not just looking at that. You're looking further, and which will totally benefit our entire county, and not just our county, but the region. And you know, we had the flood issues that we've had in years recent. You know, it used to be everybody remembers a flood. Now we all know about floods. It's not a recent memory, it's memory. So I think your vision for that and your willingness to look for areas that we can kind of mitigate those things and use proven methods to go after that, I think it's huge, and you're a huge asset. And I think our planning and zoning is better than it's ever been. And it's because you all work as a team, and it's great, and I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. So nice.
Judge, I'll echo all those comments, and I've actually been excited to be able to talk to the community recently and say, you know, we were working on some things prior to the flood, but the flood has exacerbated our focus and our attention, and Tina's you know, mindset now and education level has really brought into focus some of those things in a more strategic way than we've ever approached before. And I've been particularly excited to tell the community we're going to have some things coming up in the very near future where we have to for the first time, map the entire stormwater infrastructure of this county, city and county together. The very first time. You would think that would have been done 30 years ago, but it's never been done. And we're going to be able to trace and identify all of the problem areas in the county and take some steps to actually mitigate some of our problems for the first time. So Tina's leading all of that for our community. So I'm excited about where we're going. So
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Yeah, and Ben's been a big asset too with the
Yeah.
stormwater and working with Stantec, and he's done amazing things with that. So I just want to point Ben out today.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Alrighty, next on the agenda, is the minutes from a regular meeting of July 8th. Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. I have a couple of corrections to the minutes.
I'm sorry. Damn.
So if we look down at the third paragraph,
Excuse me.
where it says motion by Squire Sebastian, amended or seconded by Squire Dykes for authorization to approve HMC agreement. I've written all over mine, so it's just hard to see what it says. For preventive maintenance, that really does need to specify that that's at the Franklin County Regional Jail. Needs to specify where that's at. And then in the next paragraph, Squire Wisman's name is spelled incorrectly. Sorry, I would have called you earlier, but I've been really slammed today
Okay,
with those.
I'll make the changes.
That's all I have, thank
All right,
you.
thank you. Anything
Others
else on
may
that?
have.
Alrighty, next I believe Mr. Hancock is with us. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys?
We're doing fabulous. Thanks for being with us. What do you got for us?
Judge, Squires, Court. I'm giving you both this is the first time that I've ever done this. This is both the first quarter and the second quarter at the same time. During the first quarter, I had several family things going on and just wasn't able to make it over here to go over it with you. I'm actually kind of excited to be going over it with you and 2 quarters put together. because I want you all to notice a couple of things. Especially in the first quarter, when you see the reconciled bank to book balance, that is what you all know is excess fees. And if you look, and you look down through all of our appropriations, we're at, you know, in that first quarter, we're at 25% on most of our account receivable and account payable. You've got a reconciled bank balance, which is your excess fees at 302. And then you flip over to the second quarter, and I really want to point this out because I think it's really good for your knowledge. We're still running at a 50% level on expenditures and money we're bringing in, but there's only a reconciled bank balance of 405. Now, the reason I bring this up is, what do you all think happens in the second quarter? Elections.
Elections, yeah.
Elections. So
Insurance.
I want you all to know that the biggest difference, now there are some differences. In the first quarter, you have truck money. You have some big, all my big corporate money comes in. So, and that's more profitable to the clerk's office and to you guys for excess fees. But I just wanted to point out to you, doing the same amount of work, we don't bring in as much excess fees when the cost of an election, which is something that you're all fronting. I'm paying it, but you're fronting it because it doesn't come back in excess fees. It just costs a lot to run these elections. We're trying to push some legislation to get more state money, more federal money for allocations for elections. I just want you all to realize there's that much of a deficit that falls directly on this court's back. Because if not, you would receive that much more. We're a unique county where I pay for all the election expenses. We're one of 120 that does that. All the rest of the courts pay their election expenses. They don't wait for it. It's not where I pay them and then give me back the excess fees. So I think it's just noticeable that you all need to realize how much they cost, what they offset, and how much it costs the county to actually run the elections, what you're actually paying for. You're all paying for it. You're just not getting it back in excess fees. On our deed room renovations, that has been put on hold for a little bit, but we are back on it. I'm working with Deputy Kennedy to get that worked out. We are back, and we're gonna meet and get some plans put together, some ideas, what needs to be structurally rebound, what needs to be done. So we have not completely stopped that project. We just had to pause it for a little bit. We have to, when I get into election season, it becomes my number one focus. So we had to put it on pause. We paused it for a while. Now we're back at it and looking through. I'd be glad to answer anybody's questions.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Jeff. I appreciate that, everything your staff does over there, because they do a wonderful job. Squire Wisdom, you have a hand up.
Since you mentioned it, Jeff, I'm wondering if you have sort of an estimation of what those costs were. You know, the primary, I was on the ballot, but very little was on the primary this year. But whether you have a huge ballot or a small ballot, generally costs are about the same, right? So
Absolutely.
What did that look like for us this year?
If 10% show up, or if 90% show up, and we're always prepared for 90. We're one of the few counties, we have print on demand, we have automatic check-in, we have all the things that make them safe, secure, and have the ability to vote everybody. I do not change my election plans up. The reason I don't is because I don't want the general public confused.
Right.
So we spend the same, unfortunately, regardless what's on the ballot, it's gonna cost us the same amount of money. And I haven't looked through to tell you exactly, but we're at 122 right now on election costs.
I was wondering if you had sort of
I can
about
give
for the
you a
primary.
full breakdown for it.
You're good.
All right, what other questions do we have for Jeff while he's with us tonight?
I don't have any questions, but I just want to tell Jeff that when I talk to people about elections, like people in this county feel very secure and feel like Jeff and his folks do the best possible job. So I appreciate that because I think it is super important for people to feel safe right now. And like we're doing things the right way. And so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Anything
I
else?
suppose the only thing, Jeff, is I've heard some chatter that I kind of came back about you know, the consolidation and your intent, at least maybe I could say my thoughts of your opinion is we're going to keep those two rural stations out in Bald Knob and at Schweitzer and keep all the voting locations effectively as they are indefinitely, probably from now on, right?
Until
So-
the fire station kicks me out. I mean,
So no changes this fall at all, or any time coming up in the future?
both of
probably?
those communities are very tight-knit communities. There are truly people in Bald Knob that go to the school or go to the fire station just to vote. That's the only time they're getting out that week. I have
Yeah.
no problem keeping the rural locations. Bald Knob votes very heavy. People don't realize that. It's one of my better communities that shows up and votes in their home location. And we really don't have an answer other than the fire station. I brought that up before.
Yeah.
We would love to have a better answer out in Bald Knob, but we have to have the parking, we have to have handicap accessibility, we have to have a location that we can get there. And Schweitzer or Bald Knob, if either of you magistrates have an idea or a situation that would work better, I'm all ears on that. But I will always have a rural location, just because I think it's best to meet people where they're at.
Thanks.
Jeff, just one thing, when you talk about the primary elections, so in this community, we have the city primary and the county primaries, correct?
Yes,
So
sir.
that 122 is both primaries together?
You gotta remember, the city doesn't pay for their primaries.
Okay.
No.
So the
City-
fiscal courts pays for all elections, city and county?
I'll break it down
Yeah.
for you, but
Sure
you pay
do.
90% of everything. You pay 90% for the federal, the city, the school boards, you're paying for all of it.
Okay, just want to make sure everybody realizes it.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
realize it very
Yep.
clearly.
Jeff, thank you. Appreciate
Thank you,
your
guys.
presentation tonight. Tell your team thank you.
Have a great day.
Yep. Next, I believe our sheriff is with us tonight. How you doing tonight, Sheriff Dwayne Depp?
I'm doing fine, sir. How are you?
If I was any better, my name be Sheriff Depp.
I don't know. I think the first thing that I have is as everybody knows, communication is very important to us, and we have some mobile data terminals, and those are the computers in our vehicles that we need every single day in order to operate. So we had some that had become pretty obsolete. They got really slow. They weren't working properly. So we sought out the ability to lease some MDTs. So we're currently leasing them. Prior to leasing them, we had purchased MDTs. So they belong to us. But after they get 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, they get really slow. So what you see before you is our desire to surplus these MDTs. We've done our homework and checked to see where those MDTs were purchased, whether or not they were purchased on a grant or not. We did have a grant back in 2022, a JAG grant that we purchased 2 MDTs. Talked to Ms. Quatman today, and she was able to pull up some pictures and serial numbers of those. We've checked this against this list, and they're not on here. So our desire is to get approval from the court in order to surplus these MDTs.
All right, what questions we have for the sheriff on this agenda item? All righty, what else do you have for us?
I think the next thing is our tax settlement. So before you, you will see the 2025 tax settlement. Pretty self-explanatory. You guys get this every single year around this time, and I'm happy to answer any questions about the tax settlement if you have any.
All right, does anybody have any questions for the sheriff on the tax settlement that he is presenting to us? Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. It's not a question, and Sheriff, thank you so much for being with us. I'm just trying to look across at the official receipt, and I see that the largest recipient for property tax is the school system at $29.65 million. The next would be the county at $7.8 million. And then it devolves down to the other taxing districts, the ag district, the health department, the library, soil conservation. And if I sit over here and do my mental math, it looks like what comes to the county versus what goes to the school system is 37.5% of what the county schools receive. So there's a commensurate amount that goes to multiple entities here in the community. So just so that folks understand, the largest share goes back into serving kids.
That is correct, yes.
Largest amount goes back into serving kids.
Yes.
And then 37% of that large amount is what serves everybody here. So that just everybody can understand the differentiation in where their tax dollars go and how they're utilized.
Yes, ma'am, you're exactly right. And just to take it a step further, if I may, at the very bottom, the chart at the bottom has our franchise taxes
Yeah,
that we
franchise
collect.
fees, yeah.
So the 29 million tax dollars goes to the school, and then another little over 7 million of franchise dollars
That's
go
correct.
there. So we're talking $36 million or so
Yep.
that goes to the school. And likewise, the other 5 entities that we collect for and those dollars go to, you're talking about quite a bit of money.
Yeah, and so that 37% figure that I just put my brain to goes down considerably as to what we get as opposed to what goes into funding activities for our school-age children.
That is so correct. Yes,
So
ma'am.
it's probably about 31, 32, just pulling the Rain Man
I would
down.
hate to say, because your math is much better than mine, so
Yeah.
but yes. So,
As far as
Thank you.
Sebastian, thank you for sharing that. That's a very good point as far as how the taxes are.
It is, just so
divvied
that
out.
everybody
Yeah.
understands
It's a
that
very
the
good
large share goes, and
Yeah.
it goes to kids.
Absolutely.
I want to add, you know, out of all those taxes you collect, only 17% of it comes to the county.
That's 17% of the 100. That is
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah.
17%.
Yep. So people do need to understand
Yeah, absolutely,
how the lion's share of that is utilized.
absolutely.
Thank
Squire
you.
Wisdom.
Judge, I'd like to point out too, just at this time, that, you know, delinquent on this total is $500,000. I'm gonna be working on some things, and I'll be in touch with everybody, that I wanna take some more proactive steps to finding ways to collect those property taxes that are not paid year after year after year, and encouraging some other ways for that to happen. Currently, we generally sell those off on the courthouse steps for pennies on the dollar, right? That then those entities go add exorbitant fees to those taxes, which ultimately hinder, in my mind, those ever being paid back, or those properties being freed up to be sold and circulate through the community as they should. So I want us to start considering some ways to go after that. And, you know, what could we do for $500,000 every year divided amongst all of us, the lion's share to the county schools and the fiscal court? I would imagine that would build some facility if we wanted to, pretty easily. So, and that is a pretty consistent, although usually even more, year after year, that amount of the population of our community are not paying the property taxes. So.
That's correct. And Judge, if I could just add one quick thing
Go
to
ahead,
that. This past year, we collected 97% of all taxes. 3% of the taxes of the 100% actually goes to the county clerk's office along with the county attorney in order to try to attempt to collect those delinquent taxes. So we do our best to collect as much as we can, and then I know that there's still some collected at that delinquent stage, but I still say that that's still a large amount of money that's still kind of hanging out there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sheriff.
And that was published in the paper just last week, I think it was, and it's available on the clerk's website. If anybody doesn't know, you want to go take a look real quick if your taxes are paid. There's some surprising ones on there that I've called a few people already saying, get at it, so.
For your taxes.
Yeah. There's some that have, 8 or 10 on the list, so.
Sheriff, you have another one for us?
The last thing that I have is our school contract, if that's what we're looking at. So you should have before you our most recent school contract with our school resource officers. Each year, we sign a contract with the school in order to supply school resource officers to our schools. Happy to report that Mr. Kopp and I were able to sit down and come up with a contract that we think that will supply the necessary funding to keep our kids in schools and administrators and parents and all those folks that are attending different events in our school system safe. So just wanted to present that to the court to let you know that we have secured the funding in order to have our school resource officers in our schools for the next year.
Squire Blackburn.
Was there any significant changes to the contract?
No, sir.
for this year, last
There
year?
is absolutely no changes to the contract at all. Absolutely none.
Thank you.
Dollar amount's the same, the number of personnel is the same, everything is the same.
And with everything going up, that's commendable.
It's gonna be a little bit more for us, with, as far as the sheriff's office to take on. However, I think all of us in this room feel very strongly that it's important to make sure that our schools are safe and that we have school resource officers in our schools. But, we'll figure out how to make it work.
Sheriff, thank you very much. I
Yes.
appreciate you and your team and everything you all do to keep this community
Thank you.
safe.
Thank you all for your support.
Absolutely.
Nice job, thank you.
Alrighty, next, I believe, Max is gonna say a couple things. This is a sublease agreement we have for the, administrative courts, Commonwealth Attorney, County Attorneys, Crime Victims Advocate Space, and the Courthouse Judicial Center.
This was on a few weeks back. We actually approved it at that point in time. However, as soon as it got to AOC, they said that they've changed their policy and want to attach the lease agreement between AOC and the county to all subleases now. And so this is literally the same agreement with just that lease attached to it. So that's what it is.
Alright. Any questions for Max on this agenda item?
I noticed the square footage changed from,
I don't believe so.
Did it?
it's saying 1,600, 1,661 square feet. And it was 1,700 in a prior one. Was that two different spaces?
There's 3 different spaces total. One is the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, one's the County Attorney's Office, and one is the Victims Advocate's Office.
Right, that's it.
So it's
Thank you.
3 separate spaces, 2 on the 3rd floor, 1 on the 2nd floor.
One second. Thanks, sir.
But the price is the same as it was last year and as it was, I think,
The
3
previous-
weeks ago when you all approved it the last time. Literally, the only thing is the lease attached.
Alright, thank you, Max. Oh, Squire Woods.
Judge, I've asked about this before, and it's come up here again, and I've never really got an answer that sufficed me, but this Franklin County Public Properties Corporation is named as part of this lease agreement. That went defunct. It's administratively dissolved by the state in 2024. So I'd just like to offer a motion to direct the judge to incorporate the Franklin County Kentucky Public Properties Corporation, and to list all members of this fiscal court as parties to that, and/or to bring us back formal dissolution of that entity by action of this court at our next meeting. I think we just need to take a step to either formally dissolve it as a body if we're able to, or to reincorporate it and do the reporting as necessary, so.
Okay.
Go ahead, Squire.
Thank you. I think your first statement said the state administratively dissolved it. So if the state dissolved it, then this body has no, maybe, does this
No.
body have a standing to dissolve it? If the state administratively dissolved it?
If the
Just,
state-
I'm asking.
It was
It would
dissolved.
be the entity itself that would then get itself back into good standing. It's not this body. it's
Okay,
the
thank you.
entity itself.
That's the way I'm understanding it, just based on,
But
What
it
said?
exists because this body created it, so whatever way it needs to happen, I just want it either recreated or formally dissolved. It was dissolved because we didn't do our annual reporting to the Secretary of State, is my understanding, so.
Max, what are your thoughts? And I
But it's
know
named again here,
This is
so.
kind of thrown at you, but what are your thoughts on that?
Well, we can't formally dissolve it because our bonds haven't been paid. So that was the
Right.
bond, that was the bonding mechanism, so. But I can get with the, because I think in looking at that entity, there are some individuals that were previously on that entity that are no longer a part of the fiscal court.
2, yes.
And so we'll need to.
We'll revise it.
In
Yeah,
my
'cause
mind, it should
I
be
don't think
members,
we
all
can-
members of this court, or all members of this body, because we've never, as an entity, appointed any individuals otherwise. But maybe there's a mechanism to do that. I just want to clear it up, clean
It
it up.
it would be the corporation itself that would decide who are the members of that entity. But
It was probably defined by statute when we established
I'm
it by
sure it was
ordinance, right?
defined by the agreement that put it into place.
yeah, I don't think it'd be in statute, it'd be in an agreement.
It would be in the
Yeah.
operating agreement
Yeah.
for the corporation.
So Max, is that something you could make note of and circle back with us on? Yep, all right, thank you.
Judge, I offered a motion. I don't know if anybody wants a second to take that further, or if you've got it either way, I can,
We don't
if you want to take it
motions
that
in work
way, I
sessions,
can,
do we? No.
Yeah, I think we're okay, because
if you want to take it that way, I can just rescind my motion.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
rescind my motion.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All righty, next, I believe Miss Belinda is with us. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well.
Good, thanks for being with us.
This is authorization to apply to the Kentucky Office of Homeland Security for a state Homeland Security grant for the purchase and installation of safety and security film for windows in some county buildings. The Homeland Security Grant Program is an annual federal program from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Federal Emergency Management Agency. Installation of safety and security film qualifies as a physical security enhancement for critical infrastructure. It is a reimbursement grant, and there is no local match obligation.
Perfect. Any questions for Belinda on this agenda item? Fire away.
Just wondering what we're allowed to apply up to, or is it just that?
You know, when going through the notice of funding opportunity, there wasn't a ceiling necessarily, or a bottom range, you know.
Okay. All right, thanks.
All right. Belinda, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate everything you do for us. Next, I believe Ben is with us tonight with Planning and Zoning. Good evening, Ben.
Good evening, Court. Good evening, Judge. How's everybody?
Doing great, buddy. Thanks for being here. What do you have?
So this item before us here is to authorization to add a street light to the county multiplier at the southern intersection of Chenault Road and Commerce Boulevard. Our office has received some complaints from business owners in the area expressing concerns for their employees at night at this intersection. And is our belief that a light may improve the safety of that intersection at night, and we're recommending approval.
All righty. Any questions for Ben on this agenda item? All righty. Seeing next one.
I just want to say something.
Oh, go ahead, Squire Blackburn.
Ben, this is in my district. I want to thank you so much for taking the initiative and saying, because it is needed. I think there's one about 300 feet away. Is that right?
I don't know off the top of my head where the next light is, but yeah.
But it's right at
Station.
it's right at the
There's a light
intersection.
close to that, but.
Right around the corner.
Yeah, right around the corner,
Yeah.
but there's not one there, and it is dark.
It's dark.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, nice shot.
All righty. This next one is a little bit different.
Yes, in my time at the county, I've never seen one of these cases. This will be the first street name change request I've ever processed. Our office received an application to change Bryan Mark Cove to Casey Cove. And looking at the Franklin County subdivision and site plan regulations, that we've taken it through the process outlined in that section. And there is a provision per 9.02.02C3 that would authorize the court to waive the public hearing if all parties are, all affected parties are in agreement with it. There are 5 properties along Bryan Mark Cove, and 2 of them are in common ownership. And we have on the application submitted to our office all signatures from all the property owners out there agreeing to this request. So we've also taken it to the road committee, who also recommend approval of this as well.
Okay, Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. So this falls within the beautiful first district, one being one all the time.
Here we go.
And it truly is a very honorable gesture to rename a street in someone's honor. And even more so that this request was supported by 100% of the residents out there. Every resident on Bryan Mark Cove. Should this pass tonight, I just want to make sure that everybody is very cognizant that residents will have work to do on the back end. They will have address changes. They'll have to change that for their driver's license, passports, property deed, which will probably involve an attorney to come in and do some research potentially to change that on their deed. Mail, deliveries, all of those, and that's just a few things off the top of my head that this will trigger on the back end. So I guess one of the questions, the only question I can think of in that regard is, what will be the timing for those back-end tasks? Because I don't know how long it takes to upload this name change into the appropriate GIS systems and notify whomever has to be notified here. I don't know if we have to notify the USPS and E911. Those are the ones I can think of, like, right off the top of my head.
Sure. So we'll finish the process. It won't take but maybe a few days. Probably the longest, I'd say maybe sometime next week, possibly as early as this week. I'll send it through the standard process that we do for all address assignments and street name assignments. That list of recipients of that memo includes post office, first responders, utility company, PVA office as well. To answer your question about on the residents, that burden would fall squarely on them, but we can wrap up this process rather quickly.
And that's the key thing. Whatever it takes on our side to trigger all those other things, the families that are there have work to do on the back end. That we do not, that the county doesn't do or other offices don't do. It's up to the individual. I think, which is just the key point I just want to make for those folks that
And
are
I'd
out
be
there.
happy to reach out to by contact on the application and kind of express that to them, just to make sure they're well aware of what they're getting into.
Which would be great for that person who triggered the action to share that with the neighbors, just so that they know, because it doesn't end however this vote goes tonight.
Yes.
There is a lot of
Just
back
because
end
the
work.
new street sign gets installed, they
Yep.
still have to, like you said, the deed and
There's a
their
lot of
driver's
back end work.
license.
All right, thank you.
Very good point, Squire Black.
So is the numbering gonna change on the households?
I don't anticipate that. I think it'd just be the street name change unless, I'll have to maybe communicate with some of the folks out there. If it doesn't, when I look at it, if it doesn't make sense, I like to kind of keep it sequential when I'm working on addresses. You know, make it go in numerical order. That's what the regulations call for. So if they're kind of funky, I could potentially tweak it.
Well, I know on the background information, it said, it'd be helpful for emergency clarity, address confusion and out of order numbering. The existing numbering is inconsistent and out of sequence.
It is.
Yep. So we can make that adjustment.
You'll make that adjustment in-house? Okay. All right, thanks, Ben.
Any other questions on this agenda item?
Ben, I did a cursory look. Is there anything sort of similar that this could be confused with, this name in the county? There's one that I've been wanting to do for years of Taylor Avenue and Taylor Road, right? That semis get confused all the time. Is there anything that is like a misspelling of Casey in another way or something?
So part of the review, we sent this through E911, and they do typically do that type of review for us to check it even with city streets to make sure there's no confusion, and they didn't flag anything.
Okay, great. Thanks.
All right, Ben, I believe this next one, you're gonna.
I will stand here, but I don't have a whole lot to say.
All right, this is the second reading approval ordinance creating the Code Enforcement Board for Franklin County. So, Squire Wisman.
Judge, I have a change I would like to offer. In 31.04, appointment of members, term of office, removal from office, oath, and compensation. Number G talks about the compensation rate for the members per year, per meeting. It's $100 per meeting, and then $25 if you can't attend the meeting, but you did the preparation. But we don't have a cap there. I'd like to offer something like maybe $1,600 a year as a maximum, so that there could be, 12 regular meetings and 6 additional if need be. But just for budgeting purposes, I'd like to see sort of a maximum amount that we install for reimbursement to all the members every year. Most of the other ordinances, cities and counties, are written that way that I reviewed. So whatever amount we feel confident in, but the intent is one monthly meeting, I believe it looks like it reads, so $1,200 a year.
Yeah.
But obviously there may need to be an additional meeting or two every year, so $1,500, $1,200 maximum per year, and then we can revisit that at any point in time. But that is already, I believe, more than the planning commission members are making per annual, if I recall right.
I
Are you
don't remember
familiar?
off the top of my head.
I'm
Well,
pretty
and I
positive it
think
is.
the way it's set up verbiage-wise is if needed, you know what I mean? So it's not
Right.
every month. It's not, it's gonna be,
Right.
so there might be a couple months where they don't meet. if
And there
there's
might
no-
be a year that they meet 16 times, so, just depending
Yeah.
on, I would like to add a sort of a maximum or a cap there of whatever amount you all feel comfortable with, but just for budgeting purposes, we'll know that's the most that can draw a year. And
Ben, do you know if the other boards, like water board districts and things like that, have max ceilings on their numbers?
I am unsure.
All right, what's court's thought?
several of our other boards, planning-related boards do.
They do?
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Caps. I know that there's just a standard amount that they get per meeting, but I don't know if there's like an upward limit.
Is there a maximum amount that they can time to meet? I don't know of anything that
Yeah,
caps their number of meetings.
I don't know either. I've never heard it. I'm not down to Squire
Yeah,
Wisman.
not
I'm
at
just-
all.
Yeah, I'm
But
not
just
disrespecting. I'm just-
processing.
I don't.
I-
So what does court want to do? Do we want to put a cap on it or leave it the way it is? It's
Well,
court's
it-
decision. Go ahead,
if we,
Squire Sebastian.
sorry, this is all my fault anyway, so, that we're dealing with this, but I think there is a reason to do that, and we're trying to make sure that when we get calls from folks, they understand that we are trying to work through the process that we are given. But when they go through the adjudicatory process, a lot of these items get stuck at the bottom of dockets and can't work their way up because there's so many other things in front of them. So this is a way to demonstrate to the public that we are working to address the issues that they bring forth to us routinely. And in regard to capping a number of meetings, I think that would be really hard for us because starting out, we really don't know how many items, will come. So there could be a flood of things, there could be a drought of things. I mean, I'm sure we all utilize the processes that we have in front of us now.
I guess,
don't know.
Judge, I'm not
I don't know
saying
about
capping a number of meetings, I'm capping reimbursement for a year. They can meet 30 times, but the annual reimbursement shall not exceed $1,500 or something, is what
I don't know how we
saying.
do that if it's per meeting.
I mean, here's the question I would have for that. How can you say I'm gonna pay you for showing up at this meeting, but I'm not gonna pay you for showing up at 3 other meetings?
I'm offering
Well, I mean,
that
would
it's-
you do that?
I served on committees, and that was the standard. Planning and Architecture Review Board and some others, I'm familiar that has been precedent. We don't have to do anything with it. I'm just offering that,
Yeah.
it may be hard to budgets.
Budgeting purposes.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand.
Totally understand the concept, but as sometimes conceptually things make a lot of sense, but as they roll out, some of that clarity is lost.
Squire Tanner, thoughts?
Since we have no history of how many meetings they may need to make, a year's time, it may be 16, it may be 12, could be more likely less than 12. So until we get a track record, I don't think we need to establish a cap. After a year, maybe we'll have more of an idea what that should be.
Okay, thank you, Squire Tanner. Okay, any other questions for Ben on this?
Yeah, Judge, it doesn't look like that's going to move forward, so I'll let it be at that. But I cannot find specifically stated, and I may have overlooked it. I'm still trying to digest this a little bit. I've read through it, I think, 5 times now, that this body is subject to the Ethics Commission. It should be overtly stated somewhere, but I can't find that it is anywhere. So I just wanted to ask.
Is there a blanket statement?
Go
I
ahead, Squire. Yeah.
apologize.
No, you're okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, I apologize.
I was getting ready to say the same thing.
Is there some blanket statement that if you serve on a board, a Franklin County board, that I'm almost positive even on our ethics form, it says something about
I
that
think it
board
does.
service. But that's a.
However we cover it, I
But
just didn't see it.
that's absolutely, just asking, because I'm
Back for your thoughts.
pretty sure there is, but I don't wanna.
Would that be contained in this ordinance or in the Ethics Commission ordinance?
That's what I'm thinking, somewhere else. If you serve on
I think it
a
says in
board,
the ethics
I'm-
form that
I'm
if you
almost
serve on any
positive.
board with Franklin County, that you're.
I know there's
I'm almost
an
positive
ethical
that's what
portion of this ordinance that talks about
that's a good-
if you would have any interest
There's
in
conflict of interest statement here.
conflict of interest,
But
as
nothing
far
overtly
as saying
ethics.
that this particular entity is under the ethics.
But I think in their thing, it says, if you serve on a Franklin County board, if you're providing a service to Franklin County, you have to fill out an ethics form and all. But I don't have it in front of me, but I'm just going off of my brain.
I was thinking it'd be simple, just under that conflict of interests, that this body shall be subject to the Franklin County Ethics Commission.
I don't think it hurts.
It shouldn't hurt to say anything like that, just to clarify, but I just wanted.
Is everybody okay with that? Just 'cause
opinion.
we don't have the rest of it in front of us? Are you okay with that, Max?
Yeah, it's fine.
If that is the case, if we're gonna establish, or are we trying to establish precedent? So if that's the case, do we have to go back to all of our ordinances and amend them to put that kind of statement in them? Just asking
Or
for
we just call
clarity.
them one out, not the others?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
clarity.
No, that's a good point.
That's fine with me.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's doubting that. That makes good sense.
I'm gonna let Squire Harrod, while they're looking at this, Squire Harrod, do you have a question?
Yeah, I was just reading, it said no matter no member of the board may hold the elected or appointed office, whether paid or unpaid, or any position of employment with the county of Franklin. And underneath of it says, the employee of Franklin County Fiscal Court shall keep the minutes of the board meetings. Who's that gonna be?
We're still working that through.
Okay, well, I'm just reading what it says.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
We talked about it, we talked about a range of individuals. We talked primarily about someone from the planning, zoning, I forget the full title, ordinance office, handling that task. And what we've talked about in general is doing it during having it during the
Working day.
business day.
Yeah.
Because the ethics, like, for example, the ethics board, and I think they typically meet, I'm just making it up, once a quarter on a Tuesday at 2 in the afternoon. Or they used to meet when Rick Sparks was here, they met at noon.
Yeah.
Everybody would come in
I was just
and they had a
trying
member
to
of the
inquire
staff.
who the employee would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An employee.
And the
We're
thing
still
is,
we're trying to figure that out.
and the reason is, if you specifically say it's gonna be XYZ, my title, and I'm not there, we can't have that meeting.
No, I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just, you're putting another job title on somebody that's here. So that's what I'm just trying to figure out,
Yeah.
how that's gonna work out.
Yeah,
Yep. No, it's a good
and
question.
those conversations, we did have those in the committee, and the staff was like, yep, we understand.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is,
I'm just trying to answer the
No, it's just
question,
good.
because I was sitting in
It's
the
a good
room.
question, yeah.
Because that jumped out at me, so.
this makes me think, the question related to that, this isn't its own fee structure board that can impose and run its own budget like the planning commission does as a separate entity that pays one of our fire department employees to, well, a couple of our boards pay a fire department employee. So this will be, all operations, all costs, everything associated with this will run through the court.
Correct. Max, any thoughts before I move on?
It's looking like, as far as, now, this is an extremely quick reading, as I've had, what now, 3 minutes to.
Yeah.
We've had way
As
too
we all
long.
have.
Way too long. So if you look at
This
the
is when we edit things.
code of ethics for the county and standards of conduct, it lists no county government employee or officer. And so it does not talk about members of separate boards that I am seeing right now. Those required to fill out a financial disclosure are elected officers, candidates for elected office, management personnel such as chief deputies, department heads, or county government, officers and employees of county government with procurement authority exceeding $500 per purchase. So as
So
I'm
it really
looking,
doesn't qualify.
as I'm looking right now, I am not seeing anything that is referencing, and like I said, this is about a 3-minute look at this, that is referencing any type of board member of any type of board for Franklin County.
So how do we come up with, can you offer some words to add to that one section, just so we make sure that everyone understands that that's a known thing, you have to fill out the ethics form. You have to follow the ethics procedures of Franklin County.
But I don't think they follow.
You're gonna have to
forms out.
amend, you're gonna have to amend
All
the
the
code
boards.
of ethics
Okay,
to include members of this particular board, and if you all wanna add other boards,
Okay.
that's.
So maybe that's the way to
So-
do it then, if we wanted to.
and then that covers everything.
Yeah.
Do you want to go
I
ahead?
swear, I know I've seen something that says they have
Well,
to
you've
fill
been
out.
But I think if
working
we
on
did it now, that
administrative
wouldn't be fair to all the other boards.
That must
It
be
was
it.
like-
Maybe
It's all or none.
Changes.
We're creating a new one. We could go back and do
But I think
both.
it'd be easier, instead of going back through all the boards, if the court is the desire to do that, would be to do it under the ethics.
And
Like
I'm
an
wondering, maybe it's in
umbrella
the, maybe it's in
To
the
me, it would make
administrative
more,
code.
to me, it would make more sense to be in the code of ethics.
Yeah,
and
that
Yeah.
would be
who
individually.
it applies to,
I've
then
seen it.
going and revising every ordinance that creates a board and.
Ben, you're doing a great job.
Yep, knocking it out.
So are you guys.
So can we, at the next
Yeah.
meeting,
Yeah.
bring that forth, and then
Yeah.
that addresses everything
Yeah, I
in
think
a
that'd be
blanket
easier than
umbrella way.
individual things.
Well, let's do that. That's fine.
Okay.
Just
That way we know we don't miss anything.
Squire Tanner, do you have a hand up?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I was making sure.
He's a hallelujah.
Yeah. All right, Ben, thank you. Great job.
I just administrative.
Thanks, Ben.
I know.
See you, Ben.
Aaron, I'm gonna let you go right after them,
I
okay?
know.
Are you moving me up?
I'm gonna move you up. No, I'm gonna move you up because Amy has quite a few. So yeah, no, you all go ahead and go. Sorry. Good evening.
Good evening.
Y'all been practicing that? That was a really good intro there. Yeah.
We did, we practiced.
Lock and
all.
step. Yeah. So what do you have before us?
Well, this is for Adam. We previously gave him the maintenance assistant director position, and this is just to compensate for that. We weren't able to do it last budget season. We just wanted to make sure we had enough money in the budget, so that way we budgeted for it this year. This is something that's completely reimbursed by AOC as well.
Okay. Francis, anything else to add to it?
It's been addressed in the finance committee twice. Also, the total amount, including the FICA increase, would be $2,577.36.
Okay. Any questions for Greg or Francis on this agenda item? I know it was budgeted, and like Francis said, it's gone before finance twice, so.
And it's paid for by
But everything's reimbursed by AOC.
Yep.
Yep.
Alrighty. Thank you, guys.
All right,
Alrighty.
thank you.
All right, Court, I'm gonna go ahead, if you all don't mind, we're gonna go ahead and move Aaron with ER Assist up, because Amy has quite a few in front of us. Yeah, and actually, I can hear Amy in the back of my mind saying, get Aaron out of here, we're paying her. So, yeah, here we go. Yeah.
It's 2 hours, guys.
Yeah, I know. I can literally hear Amy sitting on my shoulder. Get her out of here. Yeah, so, all right, go ahead.
So I have 2 items,
What number's
and
the
I'm not
first
sure what
one?
order
I'm
they
sorry?
were supposed to go in,
What
but
number was the first one here?
17?
Okay.
Amy, I just told him I could feel you sitting on my shoulder saying, get Aaron out of here, we're paying her. So go ahead and put her first.
Can't be
So-
17's the treasurer's fourth quarterly.
Oh, where am I looking at, wrong thing?
27.
Oh, 20.
It's.
Man, you
it's
picked up
added.
4 hours on this tonight.
27.
do I? Oh, no.
On mine, it's
What number does
27 and
it?
28.
27.
Which one is first?
Aaron, you're
Sorry.
doing the contract first.
Okay,
Contract
so-
for NRC.
The award the bid to NRC Buyout Group 2 Environmental Reviews.
Yep.
For that,
That's first.
yes. So previously in court, you guys approved that we put that out for quotes. We received 2 quotes. We asked 3 companies, only received 2. The lowest bidder is Metric Environmental. They're the same company that's doing Group 1 Environmental for the NRCS buyout. So we do recommend that we move ahead with them. If you guys are okay with that.
What's later on the desk? This thing.
All right, any questions for Aaron on the second group for the, to award the bid? Bar Wisman.
Aaron, I know this is putting you on the spot, but I have got one for the properties. Do you have any idea, roundaboutly, can you even say it, the point that we will transfer property and money will be in hand for these property owners? Do you have a timeline that we can potentially look at now with this progress?
Yeah, so we've offered closing for anybody in the first group.
Yeah.
At this point, we have 9 properties that are gonna be in the first closing. We're looking at closing in the next 2 weeks.
For the second group, though, do you have a?
For the second group, well, we've gotta get through all of these different steps in it. So I would say probably 2 months out on those
Okay.
folks.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
you bet.
Gives me something
Alrighty.
to talk about.
Aaron, your next one is to advertise for Buyout Group 2 Appraisal Technical Review Services?
Yeah, I'm just looking for approval to put that out for quotes.
I just want to say thank you and to ER Assist. Y'all have been a huge asset to Franklin County, and I think we should all be proud that we're kind of leading the state to a certain point as far as these buyout programs. And, you know, people are in bad shape right now, and some of them have lost their homes. And I just want to say thank you to the Fiscal Court also for doing these programs. So it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Barwis?
Judge, just a question technically on this one. Where will this bid go out? Will it be on the county's website or through you all or multiple places?
So because it's such a low dollar amount, we'll just send it out to a handful of companies that we are aware that are qualifying for this type of work.
I was worried this, just a 7, 8, 9 day turnaround. I was worried about response, so, okay.
Yeah, we shouldn't have any
Okay,
problem.
thanks.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Aaron while we have her on these 2 agenda items? Aaron, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All righty.
Thank you.
All righty, next I believe Amy is with us, our treasurer. Good evening, Amy.
Good evening.
Thank you for being with us tonight.
And Aaron has been a great help to me with
doing year-end FEMA, so I'm so glad that we're not doing that on our own. So
Amy, looks like you have quite a few for us tonight.
I do. So we're going to start with the audit report for the fiscal year ending June 30th of 2025. To start, I would have preferred to take this through the Finance Committee first, but timing just didn't allow that. This was just released. So I want to go over, we did have 2 findings, and those are on page 55 of the packet. The first finding was the fourth quarter report did not include encumbrances. And we did agree with that finding. The majority of the encumbrances were for the capital project at the road facility. The work hadn't been completed at that point. The omission does not reflect an absence of supporting documentation or the purchase order records. This finding is a compliance issue only, and all the money was accounted for properly. The second finding, I'm going to do my best to explain what this is. One of the reports that we have to file as treasurers is the GASB 87, which is for where we list all of our leases. And there are 2 bonds for the Judicial Center, and AOC pays those bonds. And so the state auditor said those bond balances needed to be listed on that GASB 87. And I'm going to read the response that Judge and I came up with. Franklin County respectfully disagrees with this finding. The county relied on guidance provided by DLG regarding the reporting requirements for the Judicial Center agreement. Specifically, DLG provided written confirmation to a county treasurer, which was subsequently shared with all county treasurers, stating that the Judicial Center bonds do not meet the disclosure requirements for GASB 87. So based on this guidance, the county concluded that the Judicial Center agreement was not required to be reported as a lease under GASB 87. So we provided all of that to the auditors, but they still came back and said the lease agreements between Franklin County and AOC meet the definition of a lease under GASB 87. So that's why that finding is here. It's a large amount, but remember that's the balance of those 2 bonds. So I simply followed the guidance of our regulatory agency on that.
And I just want to say on that agenda item, it was very interesting, and Squire Tanner could probably say some things too. We were in the room with the auditors, there was 3 of them, and the whole time when we talked about this item, they were all agreeing with us that we were right, you know, and so it was really surprising they actually put that on the report, because they were basically like, you know, we agree with you all, and you know, DOG's giving you guidance. So I kind of feel like it's unfair, but I don't want to say anything bad about anybody. The auditors were great to work with, but we definitely disagree with this, because when DLG is the one who guides us through the year, and they put some publication out to all the treasurers to say do it this way, and just because potentially one auditor said I want it that way, kind of not agreeing. So Squire Blackburn.
So DLG wrote the rule book and gave you the guidance, and the auditors.
Well, no, I won't say that was not in the manual provided by DLG. That was simply an email a treasurer had asked, and they responded to that. And the treasurers, we share everything with each other because we have to help each other out. And so that was something that was shared with all of us.
So on that particular finding, those are monies that aren't even passed through. Is that correct?
Right. They do not pass through our general
so
fund.
They pay the bond payment directly to PPC?
Yeah.
And then we never touch the money, but we have to report it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it just blows my mind, but thank you.
At the end of the day,
I think,
when we look at an audit like this, all the money's accounted for, and just because one auditor wants to see it a certain way, the next time we get an audit, they might want to see it a different way. So I want everybody to understand that.
And sadly,
Yeah.
from my background, that happens frequently.
Yeah.
Because someone has a predilection to see it one way.
Yeah.
The next auditor could pick it up,
And
and,
see it
and
the
two
other
people
way.
could sit together
Yeah.
from that auditor's
Yeah.
office and say, well, I don't agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is, I've had that happen
Yeah.
before.
Squire Tanner, you want to say anything?
Well, yeah, a few things I'd like to say, and one, not too many more than anybody's already said here. I was there and I heard the discussion. It was very clear that the Department of Local Government approved the way we're doing it and told you how to do that. Is that, am I wrong anywhere in that? Tell me if I am. So we're doing what DLG told, Amy's doing, what GLD, the Department of Local Government told her to do. Exactly what they
And in
said.
effect, told all of us.
Yeah.
And so the auditor said, no, that's not right. Well, they need to come together and decide how they need to do it. That's my opinion, and that's nothing else. And that's not being mad at either one of them, but exactly how does Amy react to people that's telling her to do it this way, and somebody comes in here and says, no, you did it the wrong way, when they're both in the government agencies, state agencies. They also did not ever say one thing bad about Amy. She's done a great job. They kept saying that she had. And so these letters to me, like, well, why'd you put anything in there? You already said you're doing a great job and glad you pointed things out to them. And I listened to that, and I also knew that what experience I've had with state auditors, it doesn't make any difference what they tell in these exit conferences. They're gonna put down what they want to anyway. And anyway, I appreciate your response. And I did talk to another judge today. Actually, this subject came up. That ain't why I was talking to him, but it's why it came up. And I asked him if they had a courthouse. And if they did they have a corporation? He said yes, and they've already written us up for it. And they're just under construction. It's not even finished yet, but they sold the bonds. And he said the same thing, that the DLG told them it was fine the way they were doing it, and then our auditor comes in and says it's not. So we're gonna have to, I guess we have to do it the way the auditor says, or maybe both ways, I don't know.
I went ahead and filed it with it on there this year.
You have to file with the same with DLG as you do the auditor, two different reports?
No, I did what the auditor said.
But anyway, I was there, and it was, they didn't have anything bad to say about this county or the auditor. The treasurer here does a great job. They said that many times. And it's surprising that they would write, they can't, they, you know, I've been dealing with them before, whatever they say coming in is probably is gonna be going out. But anyway, thank you very much.
Squire, thank you. And I want to kind of piggyback on that. The head auditor that was there looked at us and he said, this is probably the best treasurer in the state right here, one of the best. And we cannot believe she's only been in county government for 3 years, because Amy came from the private industry. So I think that speaks volumes, and I just want to say thank you. I know it's been a lot. And Squire Tanner, to your point, the legalities on DLG and the auditor's office, the legal minds are working this right now. They're trying to decide what's the way it should be for the entire state. So I think this is probably an issue for a lot of the, to your point, a lot of the counties that have courthouses, and probably half of them did them this way and half of them did them that way. So they are working this out to figure out what's the right way to do it. So, but Amy, I just want to say from everybody here, thank you. You take a lot of pride in your job, and you're doing an excellent job.
Thank you.
Yep. Alrighty, next agenda item.
So the next agenda item is the second reading for budget amendment number 1. This is an increase of 10.4 million, bringing our budget to 69.1. Excluding capital expenses and federal projects is a 1.9 increase, bringing that budget to 48. This is bringing in, if you'll remember, the buyout program. 8.5 million of it is that, which that will flow through us, as well as a grant. PDI grant remainder for this year, 1.7.
Amy, will you just reiterate that you didn't include that buyout money? It seems like a major change when we just started the budget year, $10 million, but you didn't include that money for the buyout program because you didn't realize it was going to flow through us, so this amends it in. So 8 point $8.5 million of this
And-
$10 million
and we'll
is
have
just those
another one.
buyouts.
We'll have another one
Yeah.
come through amending a little bit more as, you know, Aaron keeps working on that. But exactly, I budgeted our portion, not the entire amount. I didn't realize it all flowed through our budget.
And we had a conversation with Erin with ER Assist, and it was really just a miscommunication.
Yeah.
She thought it was one way, and she didn't understand exactly how we have to do the books. So we're all on the same page now. Okay, next.
Okay. The next agenda item is the financial statement for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2026. Yes. I just want to give some highlights of some financial highlights for fiscal year 26. We concluded with strong performance in strategic financial management. Some of the highlights for the revenue: taxes contributing to $26.3 million, representing 55% of our revenue. Intergovernmental support and grants, $12 million. Miscellaneous sources, including sheriff, clerk payroll reimbursements, insurance proceeds, and settlements, contributed to $5.6 million. And Squire Blackburn, interest income was $1 million, and that benefited from our partnership with CashVest. I'm so proud of that number, as you should be too.
Yep.
Yeah. Some highlights to our expenses: salaries accounted for $14.7 million, reflecting our commitment to our workforce. All employees received a 3% increase in January. 3 positions were reclassed and salaries were adjusted. We created a new position for the occupational tax, and road adjusted the new hire rate and adjusted new hire pay. Retirement benefits, Social Security, and Medicare came in at $6.2 million, ensuring support for our employees. This was a challenging year. Our health insurance renewals came in at a 26% increase in premiums. The Fiscal Court took on 20% of that increase while offering additional plans for our employees. The court continued to subsidize a portion of premiums for employee dependents. Capital projects totaled $13.3 million with the completion of the road facility and the continuation of Phase 1 at the Lakeview Park, Buena Vista Park projects, as well as debt payment on existing bonds. We did make the final payment on the $2.4 million bond that was taken in 2015 for a new fire station. So let's move on to our reserve. After deducting restricted monies, including bond activity for capital projects, clerk storage fees, opioid settlement, LGEA, federal and ARPA activity, the Fiscal Court has had an increase in our reserves. And several factors contributed to that. 1, just as last year, the departments adhered to their budgets. Budget transfers were made between accounts to cover any overages. 2, higher interest income due to maximizing investments based on our liquidity. 3, the bourbon barrel tax. As you remember, we budgeted lower, so when actual receipts came in, it allowed us to roll $1.2 million over to our reserves. And then another factor is this was our first year receiving the full 9% of the insurance premium tax. We increased that from 6 to 9%. So that, along with, we also received AOC reimbursement for a large flood mitigation expense that we incurred in fiscal year 25. So all of those factors allowed us to increase our reserve by $3.8 million. The reserve as of June 30th, 26 is now $18.2 million.
We should all be proud of all of those numbers right there.
And can you
That's
repeat?
massive.
Can you repeat how much we?
Sure.
I didn't get the
The
exact number.
increase to the reserve is
Yeah.
$3.8 million, bringing the reserve balance to $18.2 million. And if you'll remember, when we did our budget, in our current budget, It included reserves for the following: 3.2 to finish Lakeview Park Phase 1, 350,000 for a land purchase, 248 for the Fork of Elkhorn Sewer Project, and 137,000 for the flood buyout. So clearly, this reserve that we're carrying over is going to cover that.
I just want to say great job to all of our department heads, to Amy for guiding us in the fiscal court. I mean, that is some phenomenal numbers, and the numbers that stick out to me the most when she read all that was what we did for our employees, because we're nothing without employees. And we have an amazing workforce here in Franklin County, so we should be very, very proud of the year we just completed. And it was a tough year, a lot of uncertainties. Okay, next, Amy.
The next is the treasurer's fourth quarterly report submitted to DLG, and encumbrances are listed. The next item is it okay to go on?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, yes.
The next item is cash transfers. One of the things that we talked about during the audit, the clerk storage fees, they would like for it to have its separate fund. It sits within the clerk fund, but they want it to have its true own fund. So this cash transfer is moving that to that new fund.
Question.
Go ahead,
Amy,
Squire.
did I read right? They want that held in its own separate bank account
And
individually
it already
even?
does.
Okay, it already does?
It already has.
Okay.
Yes, it has from the very
So-
beginning.
I'll ask you about that later. It's confusing. If it's already in its own bank account, why? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Amy, last one.
And this is the treasurer's report, which I've already gone over some of these numbers, but I'm going to briefly go over that again. This is for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 26. Receipts is 47.7 million, expenditures 51.3, adding in the fund balance of June 30th of 25 of 29.6, and it brings the fund balance to 26 million. Also, you have the revenues and expenses as of July 17th.
Any questions for Amy on the treasurer's report?
Could you repeat the total expenses?
51.3.
I misheard. Thanks.
I do have one other agenda item. Would you like me to do it or wait?
Go ahead and do it.
Okay. So this is agenda item 26. Yes, 26. This is also part of the audit. When you have federal grant money, depending on how much you have, there has to be either a single audit. We were under that threshold, so this is the alternative compliance examination engagement, and they did find us in compliance.
I'm going to open up to the court for anything that Amy discussed tonight that's on our agenda. Does anybody have any questions while we're all together?
I have a question that came up today in a conversation I had. If we change the way the courthouse corporation is funded, listed, whether we own the debt or whether we don't, will that affect our bond capacity?
Changing it from the PPC? I don't
Well,
think you
this
could
person
change
I was talking to, when they took they borrowed the money the same through a corporation, just like we did. And they transferred it over, like the auditor said, it put them over their bonding maximum.
It's my understanding that the PPCs do not go into that calculation for your bond capacity.
Well, somebody told him the same thing, it didn't, and then all of a sudden, when they did some bonding to buy some equipment, it did. And they were over their bonding.
Our last bond, it did not, that we bonded.
I don't know how close it would be anyway, I don't know. but-
So,
Go ahead, Squire Sebastian.
thank you, Judge. So having that bit of information from another county, Is that something that we should maybe talk to? Yeah, we
Keith
need to
would be
call Keith just to have a sense of that, maybe.
So the question is, do the PPC bonds affect our bond
Our
capacity?
bond capacity,
Okay.
because that's
Yes,
gonna
I'll
eat a
ask that
chunk of
again.
it.
Yeah,
I mean, if
it
it
may
does,
be
it
way
eats a
under
chunk of it.
anyway, but this county I was talking to was trying to buy some equipment, and they told them, they gave them a higher interest rate because they were over the bonding amount. And he
Right.
said that they promised him he wouldn't be, but now they're into a legal decision of who said what.
I think there might be more to that story, because to Amy's point, you know, we use Compass, we've taken out bonds since this court's been in.
Well, we did that bond in '23,
Yeah.
and it did not.
That's what I
affect
mean,
that,
but it
I'll-
wouldn't,
I'll
if you don't
But
mind, just
it's
call
good
Keith.
just to
and just
verify with
yeah.
Compass that it's not
Yeah.
gonna
Yep.
have an impact on our bottom
Yeah.
line.
All right, any other questions for Amy before we let her go home? Amy, again, thank you for all you do for Franklin County and this fiscal court. We appreciate you being on the team.
Thank you.
We're
Yeah.
going to.
All righty, payment of claims. Do we have any questions, concerns, comments for Kim on payment of claims? Squire Sebastian, I saw your hand first.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge. I'm looking at page 1 under 015020-455 corner, where they sent a vehicle for oil change and tire rotation. So my question is do we know if that's under some warranty that they have to take it there? Or is that gonna be done, I guess, going forward at the road department as part of our internal vehicle maintenance? Because that kind of stuff will start mounting up if that's the
Yeah,
case.
Kim, if you could check to see if that's
And you
maybe-
won't know
Yeah.
unless you can just check
I'm
just to
thinking it
see.
might be their new vehicle.
It may be,
but-
and that may be part of their maintenance.
But it's a good opportunity that we
But-
circle back with the road department and talk about fleet maintenance bigger. Because I know, because we were starting out, we were just sticking with us before we branched out too far.
Yeah,
So
but,
let's,
I mean,
yeah.
but here's the deal, that is us.
Yeah,
That's, I mean,
No, yeah.
so it just makes sense. If it's something we could do in-house, that'd be great.
absolutely.
And that way, we can keep that maintenance sheet and we know what's going on with the
Yeah.
vehicles, so we don't get the same issue that we've done before with
Yep.
some vehicles. On the next page, under account 015081-571, building maintenance and repair, there's a list for a drinking foundation. Is that flood related? I'm assuming it's a drinking fountain.
It's a drinking fountain, they had to buy a new one.
So was that because of the flood?
I'll have to double check with Greg to see about that, I'm not for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure of that one.
I don't know either. So I'm just wondering if that's something that ultimately we pull out of some line item because of that, and we assess it to things that we can get reimbursed for in regard to the flood. It's the only reason I'm bringing that up. I know it's not a demonstrable amount. However, if things like this keep creeping into other budget line
Yeah.
items, it erodes them ultimately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know, man.
The flooded floor still shut.
Is it? Okay.
So my guess is no.
All right.
My gut being it might be something for the Boys and Girls Club, you know what I mean, like that our building up there. I'm just guessing though.
Maybe,
So,
but I
yeah.
don't know.
Kim, if
'Cause
you could just
usually-
look at that and see where those went.
That used to be a line item all to itself, that one building.
Okay.
321 East Main
Yeah.
used to have its own line item.
True,
So-
yeah.
So I don't know. That's
Okay.
why I'm asking.
Yeah, all good.
Okay, if you can go to page 3 of just the basic bills under interdisciplinary services, 015301-357, there is a copier bill and a water bill under interdisciplinary services. I'm not really sure how they got there, because that shouldn't be there.
I'll have to look into that, I'll get that fixed.
If you will look into that and make sure we address
Yeah, put it
that,
in the
that'd
wrong
be
place.
great.
Yeah.
And it could just been something, a keystroke could have put
Yeah.
it there. And it's that easy, but just a question about that, because that's odd. Thank
Anything
you.
else, Squire?
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, concerns, comments? Squire Wisman.
Judge, I'm wondering if you can explain, there's some bills for the swimming facility. Let me find it. That was the last page. The Schmidt Associates for $8,400 and $8,500. I'm just not wrapping my head really around how this process is gonna happen. I thought that the initial design services were gonna be covered by the Sports Commission entirely. Are they gonna reimburse us for some of this? Is this initial design work? Can we, somebody
Yes.
elaborate how
I
this
believe we
process
billed
is
them,
gonna work?
And that's, Amy, go ahead. You can probably explain it better than I can.
Yeah, we felt like I felt like it would be best that we pay all expenses having to do with that, and they'll bill them and let them reimburse us. It was part of their budget, it's part of our budget as well, both the in and out.
We'd had one meeting, they promised to pay it, and it was passed off that that was gonna be the process all along, but never about how we're gonna have an agreement to make that work. So we'll expect, Amy, then another $30,000+ to come through for initial design phase that we're gonna pay, and that's already part of our budget, but nothing else.
That's right.
In those terms, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I think it was 50 total that they agreed to
Yeah.
pay, and that was the contracted amount, and then we'll have a committee of the whole and kind of talk about where we go from here.
Okay.
Any other questions, concerns, or comments on the bills? Alrighty, seeing none. Authorization to go into closed session per KRS 61.8101F, discussions or hearings which might lead to the appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an individual employee.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. We're in closed session. Thank you. open session?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. We are in open session. All right, the next agenda item, sorry, it's been a long day. Next agenda item is authorization to hire some new firefighters. So is anybody, you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about it?
The new firefighters, or you want to do?
Yeah, we have to do that first.
Okay.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions, concerns, comments about the new firefighters that are in front of us? Alrighty, next agenda item, authorization to approve the promotions to the rank of captains and engineers. So Assistant Chief Mertz, what do you have for us tonight?
Yeah, I want to add one more to that, battalion chief.
Okay.
We got a kind of late addition on Mr. Palmer, and I forgot to change the subject line on that. But yes, with the retirements of Chief Palmer, Captain Simpson, and Captain McDonald, it's opened up 7 promotions for us, which is awesome for guys to move up.
It is awesome.
And we suggest that all of them get promoted, and they're all great guys, and we are losing a lot of experience, and I mean, a lot of guys got a lot of hose time fighting fires, but I think these guys are gonna fall right in and be able to, and a few of them are older that are finally getting promoted up to captain.
Easy.
So, older within the department, so. Experience.
HR's in the back row.
Yeah.
Alrighty, what, does any, the court members have any questions, concerns, comments about these promotions tonight? This is always exciting when we have promotions, because that means people have been staying with us a long time.
That's it, right.
And they've worked their tails off to get to the
That's
next
it.
step, so.
I'll tell you that BC promotion might keep him around 3 more years.
Squire Wisman.
Judge Eric, are these testing promotion levels, are these current to last year for 2026, or are these just recent testings?
No, our promotion process
Okay,
is
for-
in October, and then it goes in effect January 1 to December 31st.
So we're coming up pretty close on testing
Yes,
again
we
for all
are.
of these. Okay. That's what I was asking. Thanks.
Assistant Chief Merce, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Alrighty, next agenda item is other business. Does any member of the court have any other business tonight? Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. Just wanted to bring a report from ROSM. We recently had a meeting, and I wanted to give some June numbers in regard to adults and children assisted, and the amount of funds that were used to assist that, which some of those would have come from the court. So in June, there were 66 adults that were assisted at ROSM. There were 49 children assisted. The total of the funds to assist those individuals for expenditures from ROSM was $16,808. Usually that is for rental assistance or housing assistance. So it is, and utilities. That's what those go for. So just wanted to let folks know that the court's money, in conjunction with churches and others who make donations, is going for good things in our community to help people.
That's great, and thank you for serving on that as representative of the Fiscal Court, and Roslyn's doing big things, and we appreciate them in this community.
Judge?
Squire Wisman.
Could I ask related to that, Sherry, or Squire Sebastian brings up a good point. I've heard rumor in the community that resources are being used, food, ROSM, some other things, utility assistance, at a higher rate than typical for the summertime. I've heard from a couple agencies it's making us concerned about what's coming for the winter when things really get hard. So I'm wondering if maybe we could just put it out just to say, maybe any of the entities that are seeing higher usage might reach out to us so we can start maybe making some planning for the winter, because I'm concerned. I've seen some things too that I'm concerned that we may have
I'm just curious,
higher
like,
usage this
between
year.
the ROSM and Senior Center, I know you serve on that also. Are you hearing anything? I'm not doubting you, I'm just curious with those two organizations.
No, but that is qualified because, for example, with the senior center, there are a variety of services that people reach out for. ROSM primarily deals with rental assistance and utilities. But senior center, it could be new families coming in because they're expending other funds, and now they need food assistance, so they're coming in for a food box. So it's hard to quantify that because you don't know why they're coming for the food box.
Yeah.
New people are coming in. So it's,
And
that's
mostly
hard
I've
to
sort of-
quantify, I can
I've
say.
sort of heard mostly this is sort of in the realms of food insecurity and needs right now for the summertime, which is not typically the trend that we see. So I'm just thinking we may need to stock away a little money for the winter time.
And one of the things that we all know, hunger doesn't have a season.
Right.
I work food drives all the time. We all know that hunger doesn't have a season. So, and recently we just did one with Kiwanis Club this past Saturday, working at the Kroger's. Now I can say, for example, I know at the senior center, we've been fortunate enough, there are new organizations that have come into our community, and they are now helping stock the food pantry and giving food for our food boxes every Friday. So Target has come online with that, and they've already donated food. BJ's is involved in that. They've already made accommodations for that. So we, through gaining new businesses in our community, we've also gained additional resources that are already coming back into our community. So I definitely can't say enough about that. But it's hard to quantify that just yet, how that impact, if that's gonna balance some things, or, you know, we've already talked about Thanksgiving food boxes at the senior center. We had to step back away from some of that last year because the resources weren't there. Now that is back in our conversation. So I can share that.
I just want to throw out there that several of my clients and people that I know have been removed from their SNAP benefits, or it has been decreased because of just, you know why. But that is happening a lot right now. So it's my guess is it is only going to get worse from here.
Okay, we'll put some feelers out when we talk to our nonprofits. We'll see if we can come up with something.
And one of the things I can look at next month is specifically at the senior center, I can try to quantify poundage of food and some things like that. So I'll get my.
Compared to last year?
Yes,
Yeah.
compared to maybe,
Yeah.
exactly, just
Yeah.
to see where we are with that. That might help in that way.
I just bring it up so that maybe
Yep.
any of us are having conversations,
Right.
because that, Kelly, gets to the point that I wasn't gonna bring up directly, but. yeah.
I will,
Yeah.
every day. I'm
Yeah.
fine with that. I will tell you that our college students are really gonna be struggling because college does not count. So just know that, and I agree with you. I think having these new businesses is going to help so much in this community. Absolutely. But we do need to pay attention because there are some people that will not come out and say, we're hurting, I can't feed my kids.
All right, any other business tonight before we go into voting session? All righty, clerk, please call roll for voting session.
Squire Sebastian.
Here.
Squire Blackburn.
Present.
Squire Dacus.
Here.
Squire Harris.
Here.
Squire Pan.
Here.
Squire Wilson.
Present.
Judge Miller.
Present, thank you, clerk. Authorization for approval of the minutes from the regular meeting of July 8th, 2026.
Judge, I'll make the motion if we can put the caveat in that those are amended because of two things.
Yep, I should have wrote that on my sheet and I missed it. As amended.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive the county clerk's quarterly report ending March 31, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive the county clerk's quarterly report ending June 30th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive the sheriff's 2025 tax settlement.
Second.
All those, you got it, clerk?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve the sheriff's equipment as surplus and sale on gov deals.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve a memorandum of understanding between the Franklin County Sheriff's Office and the Board of Education of Franklin County to provide school resource officer SRO services.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve the amended sublease agreements with the administration offices of the courts for Commonwealth Attorney's Office, County Attorneys, Crime Victims Advocate Space in the courthouse/judicial center.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
Judge, I'm going to vote nay until we resolve the PPC.
Okay, did you get that, clerk?
Yes.
Motion passes. Authorization to approve a resolution of the County of Franklin, Kentucky, authorizing the county judge executive to make an application for and upon arrival to enter into an agreement with the Kentucky Office of Homeland Security, KOHS, to execute any documents which are deemed necessary by KOHS to facilitate and administer the project and act as the authorized correspondent for this project.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to add one street light to the county multiplier Frankfurt Plant Board at the south intersection of Chenault Road and Commerce Boulevard.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to waive the public meeting to change the street name to Brian Mark Cove to Casey Cove.
Second, no, I'm sorry, I'll make the motion. God bless.
Second.
Do I have a second? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes.
Okay, but I have a question in regard to that. So all we've done is we've
Right.
created the authorization to waive the public meeting. We haven't agreed
To
to
change it.
change the name, so I think there needs to be two that
There does
I'm gonna
need to be
clean
two.
on the county attorney. All we've done is agreed to waive the public meeting. We haven't agreed to change it, if you look at the agenda.
Yep, you are correct. I thought that was the next agenda item, it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not on.
So, can I have a motion to?
I would like to amend the agenda.
Yep.
Wait, first off, who seconded
I
that
did.
motion?
I did.
Okay.
All right,
So
go
we're gonna
ahead.
have to have two things.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have to have a motion now
Yep.
to amend the agenda.
Correct.
I'll make that.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, next.
And now I'll make the motion to change the name of Brian Mark Cove to Casey Cove.
Second.
Thank you.
Did you get that, clerk?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Squire. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Thank you, Squire Sebastian.
Yeah,
Okay.
Question on that, does that, we've already voted for it, but does that have to have an effective date for all of the post office and everything
Ben
else,
said- I
911?
think you had to step out, Squire.
You-
Ben
you
said it'll
stepped
be
out.
done
Take care of it in a week
either
or
this
so.
week or next. So he's already kind of put a deadline on
Effective
it,
today,
so.
but
He has,
2
he
weeks
has
to
a,
implement.
he has a list, a tickler sheet of all
Like a
the
punch list.
people he has to
I
contact.
saw that list. I read
That's
it.
Okay, perfect. Alrighty, this is the second reading approval of an ordinance creating Chapter 31 of the Franklin County Code of Ordinances establishing a code enforcement board for Franklin County, Kentucky.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve a pay increase for Adam Hayden as the Assistant Maintenance Director.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive the report of the audit of the Franklin County Fiscal Court ending June 30th, 2025.
So moved with prejudice.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you.
Yeah, with prejudice, yes.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. And again, thank you to Amy, our treasurer, for a job well done. Second reading approval of amendment number 1 to ordinance number 14-2026 related to budget fiscal year 2026-2027.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive the financial statement of Franklin County Fiscal Court for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
You get that, clerk?
Blackburn?
Yes.
And can I just make a statement, Judge?
Go ahead before we vote. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. The notes that our treasurer provided everyone in regard to the financial statement are absolutely incredible, and they show the commitment of this court to put money into the community and how it does that. So she did an excellent job of breaking down all the aspects, social, infrastructure, phenomenal job. And one key element of that is supporting the staff all the way through, not only with pay increases, but equipment, as well as subsidizing health insurance, because we all know, it went up for us 26%. You think about other homes out there who can't afford that, so that they can keep coming to work.
Yep.
Huge, huge.
Absolutely. Thank you, Squire. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive the treasurer's fourth quarterly report ending June 30th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve cash transfers for fiscal year 2026, 2027.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive treasurer's report.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Payment of claims. Is there a motion to deny any payment of any claim? No motion was made. Let the records reflect claims are to be paid. Authorization to hire Nathaniel Newton as a firefighter.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to hire Luther May as a firefighter.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to hire Felix Reyes as a firefighter.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve promotion Captain James Hodge to Battalion Chief.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve promotion of Engineer Tyler Ratliff to Captain.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve promotion of Engineer Michael Shaw to Captain.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve promotion of Engineer Chris Tolles to Captain.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve promotion of firefighter Brian Miracle to engineer.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve promotion to firefighter John Harris to engineer.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve promotion of firefighter Aaron Vossmer to engineer.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. And congratulations to all of our new staff that we just hired that want to come work in Franklin County. And a huge shout out to everyone who just got a promotion for everything you do for Franklin County. You're much appreciated. Authorization to receive the report of compliance for alternative CSLFRF compliance examination engaged at the Franklin County Fiscal Court for year ending June 30th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to award a bid to Metric Environmental, lowest bidder for NRCS Buyout Group 2 environmental reviews.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to advertise and issue requests for quotes for NRCS Buyout Group 2 appraisal technical review services.
So moved.
Second.
You get that, clerk? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, hey, great meeting. Great meeting. Thank you.